Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Al,
And my name is Kelly.
and we're here today to talk about cottagecore games. A woo!
Woo!
Welcome back, Kelly. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Enjoying the long weekend. It's been nice. It's nice to be back too.
Yes, good, good, good.
How have you been?
Yeah, doing all right. Just, I'm cramming in as many farming games as possible before the end of the year so that my game of the year episode is as accurate as possible. So busy.
Good dedication. Really dedicated.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I probably could have played half of these in the first half of the year, but
But
procrastination.
yeah, where's the fun without that?
Yeah, this is when the ADHD kicks in and goes, "Oh, deadline, great."
Yeah, no, literally. Do you have any things I did in like the 10 minutes before I sat down to record this? I think I ran through like five chores. Just why?
Yeah, classic. Well, this is also Kelly's 10th episode on the podcast. Woo!
Woo! I can't believe it's been 10. When you said
It's
that, I was so
wild.
shocked.
Yeah, yeah. I was surprised as well. I didn't expect it to be that many. Because I guess it's just been over a long time. Your first episode was in 2021.
Wow.
So we did Spiritfarer and then the Spiritfarer DLC. And then you and Kev did Cult of the Lamb. And then you and Bev and Maddie did Potion Permit. And then we did Fishing Break. You and Kev did Graveyard Keeper.
Hmm.
And then we did Pumpkin Panic, an episode called What is Stardew Still Missing, which I don't even remember doing, but apparently we did.
I remember that. That's when it came out on for the PC.
Uh, yeah, sure. I need to see how many episodes we've done on Stardew. And then the Dave the Diver story episode.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And then this will be your 10th one. Wild. There you go.
So many fishing farming games, not fishing games. Also fishing games.
Well, yeah. One of them was specifically a fishing game, and
Yeah.
the others almost all have fishing in them. Does Dave the Diver count as fishing? You're catching fish.
I want to say yes, but I feel like no because like realistically to me it's like the mechanic of fishing.
Well, that's why I'm questioning it.
Like I
But
think
like, there's
the
a
fishing
lot.
is so different. Would you count scuba diving and Animal Crossing as fishing?
You're
No,
not
that's
catching
like
fish when you're scuba diving, though.
oh, you're not? Not when, oh,
No,
the dive thing? No.
you only catch fish with a fishing rod in Animal Crossing.
What is it?
There
Just like
are
clams?
yeah. I
Hmm.
think maybe as far as like a crab, but I don't think there's any fish.
Okay. No, I would not count Dave the Diver as a fishing game, honestly.
Interesting. Okay, this is our controversy of the episode. Listeners, tell us: do you think Dave the Diver is a fishing episode or not?
What do you think?
If you make me decide, I would say yes, it is a fishing game. Because I think that fishing would be catching fish. I don't think you specifically have to use a fishing rod or a fishing net to count as fishing.
I see your point. I think I'm going more off of like the vibes of every other mini fishing game.
Yeah.
Because like definition wise, like you're correct. It is a fishing game. What else am I doing if not fishing? But
Yeah, I mean, I
I
would say
wouldn't count it with the fishing games. It almost is kind of like that little controversy they had with the indie game thing.
sure. Okay, I would say it is a fishing game, but not a cottagecore game,
Okay.
which is ironic because this is a cottagecore podcast. And I feel like we had the discussion about whether it was cottagecore or not multiple times throughout the summer. Anyway, 5 minutes discussion on the diver. Who expected that? This episode, we are finally going to talk about Fields of Mistria. I realized that apparently Spotify has the ability to leave comments, and I went on and noticed that there's a person on Spotify that has just been commenting regularly. Are you going to cover Fields of Mistria? Yes, here we are covering Fields of Mistria. Shout out to
For
you,
that
our
one
single commenter.
Spotify.
I can't even remember the name.
That's I
Uh,
didn't know you could comment on Spotify stuff
yeah.
either.
Yeah, episodes as well, not just yeah, so there's Jack. There we go. Jack, you're the one who's commented multiple times asking for Fields of Mistria.
Hey
As
Jack, I
as
hope you
recently
enjoy
as
this
9 days ago.
episode. This is personally for you, Jack.
Yeah, I mean we had decided to do this before I even looked at Spotify. But yeah, sure. So we're going to talk about Fields of Mistria. Before that, we have some news, a bunch of new games and a bunch of updates. Um, First of all, though, Kelly, what have you been up to?
I have been playing a lot of RimWorld again because I think it's a so like I don't know what it is. Stardew is like a March game for me, and I think RimWorld is a late fall game for me. So I am back to RimWorld,
Okay.
which is not cottagecore, but it is a lot of farming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically you could play cottagecore style because they do have like no violence mode, which I have played because I just want to like build.
Yeah. It's a management game, though, isn't it? Management
Yeah,
style
yeah,
game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm not playing it then.
Yeah, no. And then I've also been playing web fishing, which is really cute and fun and like very simple, but like the core mechanic of fishing that I just enjoy in every farming game
So,
without like the deadline of having to go to bed at night.
so I have a question about that. I have been interested in this, but not enough to play it. But what do you interact with the chat room aspect of it?
You can play alone, or you can join a random lobby, or you can play with your friends.
And what have you been doing?
I have been either playing alone or playing with friends. I'm not really a big like go into
Okay.
random people's
But
lobbies.
you have done it with friends.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What does that actually like? What is it actually like? Is it audio? Is it
Oh no, it's
text?
text. It's
Just
text. And
text.
then you kind of get the like Animal Crossing sounds
Right. Okay.
as you hit send. It like does that on top of your little chat and it pops up above your head and like you also have like a little chat message bar so you could like see what you've been talking about.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Um
Because I looked through the screenshots and I hadn't seen anything that actually showed the chat room aspect
mhm.
of it. It was all just like, you know, pictures of the fishing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's like a cute little aspect. I like that. I think it's good that it's like text.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
But very, very chill little game. Very cute. I just love fishing games. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough.
What have you been up to?
I have obviously been playing Fields of Mistria quite a bit.
Mhm.
We'll talk about that when we come to it. I've also been keeping going with Marvel Snap and Pokemon Pocket.
Oh, that's the TCG one, right? I've been playing that.
Yes, yes.
I keep
Uh,
forgetting to open my packs though.
do you not just open it when you get the notification? No.
I don't have notifications for things.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, so I turn off a lot of notifications, right? But the right if you forget things, which
Yeah, but I'm just gonna
yeah,
swipe the
uh,
notification away.
no, you tap on it and then you open the app, open the gate, open the thing, right? You just do it then. You
No,
do it there
I'm
and
not
then.
gonna do that.
It's so fast. This is so this well no, but this is the beauty of this game is it's so fast. It's like you
It
open
is.
it
That is
and you
nice.
press it and you get your 5 cards, you get your dopamine hit, you swipe the app away. The next time the notification comes up, you do exactly the same thing.
Al, listen,
10
I
seconds.
you're right. I'm not gonna try to fight you on this because you are 100% right. However, do many times I open the app and a message pops up that says you didn't finish opening your card pack.
Well, then stop doing that then. Yeah, I
So
do.
that
I
is
do. Yeah, I have to say, yeah, that is a bit of a problem. I don't know why this game is so obsessed with that. It's like you open a pack and you see it, and then you right close the app,
because I
and it's
forgot to
like
like
I've seen my
swipe it
cards.
up.
I saw
Yeah.
my cards. Right? Don't tell me I didn't finish just because I haven't gone and seen the 15 million animations after
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
It's the same because it's the same thing with the battles, especially the solo battles is bizarre, right? Because it's like if you know, you do a battle and then you get annoyed because you lose. So you just swipe the app away in anger. It's like a really satisfying thing to do. And then you open it next time and it's like, oh, you didn't finish this battle? I'm like, I did. I lost just because I didn't go through this stuff. Don't make me relive this.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
are you making me relive this? Go away.
I haven't battled yet, but I completely understand. Yeah, but I do like the aspect, the whole idea that it is a 2 second app where you just open it, open your card pack, and then close it again.
It's perfect.
Like, I just want it for the cards. I don't want to really battle.
That's fair. That's fair. But the problem is you can get more cards by battling.
Mm. Is it better than Pokemon Go battling?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it. We'll see. I got to
I
get
don't
more cards first.
I don't do PvP battles very much because, like, people suck. But I do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of solo battles in the game, and there's a new solo battle event going on right now that has unique cards for winning things. So
Oh, you could just play yourself?
yeah,
Oh,
against the
okay.
computer.
Okay.
The best bit
I
is
didn't I didn't even look at that.
you can also tell the game to play for you, so you can have the computer playing against the computer.
What? Kind of lazy.
Yes, but what I do is when I'm sitting at my desk and I want just a couple battles and I don't care
Hmm.
about it because like I've already beaten these battles, I just want to beat them more for more rewards.
Hmm.
Then I just have it sitting here, like just down on my phone stand. It's just sitting there and it's just doing the battles. And every so often I look over it and see if I've won or lost, and then I start again.
That is nice. I agree. That is a nice feature.
Speaking of which, I just got a notification that I've got a pack. So let's see. I've
Oh
already
yeah,
got that.
I should
Already
go
got that.
check mine.
Already got that. Already got that. No new cards. Great.
I do really like looking at the card art though. I think that's the most fun of it.
I'm just in an unfortunate position right now where I have most of the cards. So most days I'm getting
Mm,
nothing.
I only started like a week ago, I think.
Hmm.
Also, I've noticed I'm very biased. I like almost never open a Charizard pack.
Some of the cards are specific to that pack.
I know. But I don't want to.
I don't know what to tell you.
I know. I'm my own problem.
Anyway, so yeah, Pocket and Snap. I am at what's 98 on Snap now, so hopefully I'll get to 100 by the end of Tuesday.
Oh wow.
We'll see. Um, and I've also started playing. Speaking of playing games constantly, until the Game of the Year episode, I've been playing Luma Island as well. So yeah,
Oh nice. How is that?
I think it's doing some interesting new things that I may or may not talk about in a week.
Okay.
And I think I appreciate what it is doing, but I don't know if it's for me.
Okay. Okay.
But I've only put in like 15 hours into it so far. So I'm gonna need more time to make
Still,
that
I
decision.
think that sounds like it'll be fun to see where it goes at least.
Yeah.
And sometimes even if the mechanics aren't for you, it's like nice just to see people trying new things.
Oh, for sure. For sure. All right, that's what we've been up to. Next is our monthly segment of the recent releases, because this is only a second time doing it, but I decided that because there's so many releases of games and I'm always talking about the future, never talking about the past, I felt like people might want a monthly recap on what's out in case they've heard of something that they're like, oh, that's something I want to play. And now you can. So there have been 4 releases in November. I know it's now December when you're hearing this, but this is for November. So we have Farming Simulator 25. So if you love that farming simulator, there's your new one. It's out now. We also have Everhome, which I don't think that was previously early access, was it? No, I'm not seeing anything about early access. So that's just a release now.
Oh, that one looks cute.
It does. It's definitely on my list of I want to play this, but that list is very long.
I'm gonna add it to my list right now.
And then we have Petite Island, which I'm pretty sure was in early access. So that is now 1.0. Is that correct? Oh, no, it's not saying anything about early access. I was wrong. So it's just out.
Honestly, with the amount of games that are like in early access for forever, it's like how who's to remember anymore?
Yeah.
Everything feels like it's in early access.
Yeah. And then Luma Island as well, which is also not in early access. So wow, that's 4 releases. None of them in early access. None of them have been in early access. What an unusual month.
That is pretty crazy. Is it like I wonder if it's like a pre-Christmas thing,
Possibly.
you
Possibly.
know?
I do think a lot of games get delayed at this point. Like you don't get a huge number of games coming out just now
Hmm.
because they've either come out in October, in time for, the Christmas sale, or they come out next year because they didn't quite manage it.
Hmm.
They don't tend to like to come out in December or November because there's too much happening.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, next we've got the news. The first news is a piece of news that I meant to talk about in the last episode, but I forgot because I didn't write it down for some reason. And that is that they've announced a new series of Stardew concerts. So they had the previous series of Stardew concerts that were called Festival of Seasons. The new ones are called Symphony of Seasons, and these are bigger. It's a 35-piece orchestra. I believe the last one was under 20. I can't remember exactly. I don't know if it has it listed, but it was certainly much more intimate. It called it a chamber orchestra. Is that a specific number? I suspect not. Rona would be shouting at me if she was in the room. No, it just means
I have
small.
no idea.
It just says small. So if you've not listened to it, me and Rona did a greenhouse episode on going to the previous Stardew Valley concert because Rona, my wife, is a big musician. She enjoys music, but she does not play Stardew Valley. So it was a fun discussion to have about the music versus the game sort of thing. I have successfully purchased tickets for the new concert, the one that they're doing in Scotland, which obviously one is not very many, but we actually get one. In many cases, we don't even get one. So I'm very happy to
Woo!
actually have one.
Woo! Yeah, that is exciting. I forgot you went to the last round.
Yeah, yeah. So that was earlier this year sometime, April or something. And that was in a converted church in Edinburgh. This new one is in 2026, so
Oh
it's
wow.
over a year away, which is just because of the time of the year that makes it sound even further away. It's actually only like a year and 2 months away or something. I think it's February.
Oh yeah, it's February.
So it's not that bad, but it does sound ridiculously far away. But they're doing that shows you how they've gone up a little bit. They've gone from a converted church in Edinburgh to the Royal Concert Hall in Glasgow, which is I think 3 times the size. So
It's Stardew is big, but I think when you see it like in this kind of aspect, it's like wow.
yeah, yeah, this is their second world tour,
Yeah.
and this one's bigger.
The next one's going to be stadium level concert.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to see Stardew music in a stadium. I
No,
feel
I
like
think this is
concert
much
hall works
cuter. Yeah.
best.
Yeah. But no, that's so cool.
So yeah, it was funny because so there was a pre-sale that if you signed up to the newsletter, you got the code. I signed up for that, and then we got the code, and then I forgot all about it. And it was like because I had my laptop next to my work because it was 9 a.m. on Monday. I had my personal laptop like next to my desk, ready to log on at 9, and then completely forgot. It was really unfortunate. And then I looked at the time. I can't remember what it was. I just randomly looked at the clock, and it was 11 o'clock, and I went, the concert. Oh no! And so I went on, and thankfully they still had tickets, so I managed to get two. So
That's good, especially because like you said, you only have one night
yeah,
for Scotland, so it's not like, oh, I could
yeah,
drive a
and
few states over if I have
well,
to.
yeah, and it's like I could go to England, but there's only two in England, and one of them is London, which is like four
You want
hour
to go to
train ride,
London?
or yeah, and who wants to go to London? And it's like it's always annoying when you because like London gets because I think you get like obviously New York gets the Broadway musicals first because obviously Broadway
Hmm.
it's kind of in the name, but then they tend to go to London next, and they
Hmm.
take forever to go anywhere else. So it's like you can always go to London for these things. It's like I don't want to go to London, oh my word.
Yeah, I don't even want to go into the city for some of this stuff, so I feel you.
And so London is one of them, and Manchester's the other one. And Manchester's actually, despite being further north, is harder to get to than London.
Oh, really?
Um,
I thought that would be closer to you, honestly.
no, yeah, I mean, if you're driving, it's faster, but if you're getting the train, it's more difficult. It takes longer
Hmm.
to get there, because they've got like a super fast train from Edinburgh to London. It's like
That makes
4 hours
sense.
on the train, which is fine, but then it becomes a whole weekend thing rather than
Yeah.
a night thing. Whereas it starts at 7 p.m. It's like I can get my kids mostly ready for bed and then head off and then be back in for midnight, you know?
Yeah. No, that's nice. Yeah, that'll be exciting. I didn't realize it was, I mean, like you said, it's only like a year basically away, really.
Yeah, I think the American dates start in like August or something.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, end of
the first
August.
date's in Seattle in at the end of August.
I will say it's funny. There's no like New York City date. It's only upstate New York,
Oh, that's funny.
and New Jersey.
Is that because New York City is just stupidly expensive to
That's what I was about to say. Is it's definitely because of that.
of all the places in the world, it's like you do not want to do that.
Yeah. So that one makes a lot because at first I was like, wow, there's no New York City one, but there is a Newark, New Jersey, which is close enough. I would go there instead of Albany.
Yes, yeah, because I don't know where New York is, but New Jersey's
Hmm.
closer. I mean, much of New Jersey is closer to you than most of New York, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Uh, I know because read a lot of Ms. Marvel comics, and she's based in New Jersey City.
Yeah, that's where my sister works actually, right across the water.
Ah, nice.
It's nice there now. They've been,
New
making it
York
nicer.
New York is right there.
Hmm.
Like it's you've got New York, and then you've got Manhattan, and you've got Jersey City, and then you've got Newark.
No, yeah, literally.
That looks, yeah, that would, yeah, goodness me.
Oh, they put all their businesses on that side. I'm pretty sure because of like tax reasons.
Of course. Because
You know.
there's also there's casinos in New Jersey
Hmm.
as well, isn't there?
We have them in New York now. Just
Oh, do you?
they're more limited. Yeah, there was one
I
that
thought New York was quite strict with gambling rules.
they were. I think when I was like in my early 20s, stuff started to change,
Uh-huh.
and they opened up a casino near where I lived.
Okay.
But I think they were. It wasn't as open as like other states are with the gambling even inside of there. Like not every game I guess is allowed or stuff like that. Different styles of gambling. I don't know what gambling rules are. I just go in and I pull the lever.
Okay.
But yeah, usually people from New York would go to Jersey to gamble because it's better over there.
It's really funny. I'm just looking at the Google Maps, and I knew there was weird stuff around exactly who owned Ellis Island and Liberty Island.
Hmm.
And I noticed that on Google Maps, it has most of Ellis Island listed as New Jersey, with like a big chunk of it, including the Immigration Museum, listed as New York.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's like because you're over the line. Technically, the island is within New Jersey, so most of it's New Jersey, but then there's like an exclave of New York.
I forgot about that whole debacle.
We love border disputes.
Who doesn't?
Did you know that Greenland and Canada now have a land border due to a solved border dispute?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so there's an island between mainland Greenland, between mainland Greenland and like the very north of Canada. What is that? It doesn't have a name. Nobody cares about it. Um, which is like right in the middle of the water, which is where they'd put the border between them. So it like crosses the island. So they spent decades arguing over who owned it. And then eventually they decided they just split it. So now technically it's half and half. So they have a land border there.
Oh, that's cool. It's kind of like the two little islands in the Bering Strait
Oh, yeah,
between
yeah. Yeah.
what are they called? So they're called, I think it's something with a D. I don't remember. Yeah, yeah,
Big
there.
Diomede and Little Diomede.
That one's messed up though, because like people live there and then
Yeah.
they got split up and now they can't see their
Well,
relatives.
and it's essentially a land border half of the year anyway.
Yeah.
The ice.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't cross that ice. Not allowed.
Yeah, not allowed is very different from can't.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true. That's very true.
anyway, enough about geography. That's the Stardew Valley concert. Are you going to go to any of them? Are you going to go to the New Jersey one?
Probably not, no. Yeah, probably not. It would be cool, but no.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that I think I'm very excited for you. That is very cool.
we don't go to stuff very often because kids. So this year we went to the Stardew concert and we went to Hamilton. Hamilton, we're in Edinburgh, and then
Oh, nice.
next year we're going to see Six. I
What
think
is
that's what
that?
it's called. So I believe it's about Henry VIII's wives.
Oh, you know what? I think I might have heard something about this actually.
You'll probably have seen music from it on TikTok. It's all over the place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, so
TikTok
yeah,
is a great marketing ploy for that.
So many musicals I've learned about that. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, they're really catchy. They get stuck in your head really well.
let me just double check. Yeah, it's a modern retelling of the lives of the six wives of Henry VIII.
Okay, that's cool.
Um, all I know is the music's catchy,
Yeah, no, yeah,
and
yeah.
Rona wants to see it, and I was like, yeah, let's go see it because I like the music. So,
Yeah, why not?
um,
And that's fun. And now that you can, like, now that the kids are a little older and
yeah.
can actually get out a little bit more, it's like, why not?
So that's our one for next year, and then we got the Stardew concert the year after. um, maybe I'll see Wicked in 2026 as well. Um, we'll see.
Oh, yes. I want that to come out. I want them to release that on the on streaming so that I don't have to go
It's
into the theater
it's
for it.
so well. So here's an interesting thing for you. Apparently, um, you can go into the New York Public Library and watch it.
Oh, but I don't have to go into Manhattan.
No, I know, right? And but you can at least. I
Yes.
can't.
Okay. 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 That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. It would be a trek to get
Yes,
there and then have to
it would
sit
be
there
work,
and watch it.
but less work than going to the theater.
Yes, I've heard it's a lot of sing-alongs in the theaters,
Oh goodness.
which
Thankfully,
I'm
I
happy
live
for those
in.
theater kids,
It,
but I'm not a theater kid.
thankfully, I live in a very a place where it is unacceptable to sing. So when we went to see the film, there were not people singing.
I wish. My
This is what
mom
is
actually.
unusual. This is what is unusual is actually the people clapped at the end of it. I have never had people clap at the end of a film.
Oh, it's like
Um,
clapping when a flight lands. I hate both of those. I hate those kind of people.
there is one situation where clapping when a flight lands is acceptable, and
Yes,
that is when
yes.
you thought you were going to die.
Yeah. Every other time, it's just like that guy was just doing his job or her
Yeah,
job, and like just
yeah,
be like this. This is how it should go. Don't clap.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you thought you were going to die, or you're flying Ryanair. Um, all right, so let's get into some game news now. So the first in the news is Sunhaven have announced their UK, Switzerland, and New Zealand release date. Uh, if you're not up to date with the weird situation here, I will just summarize it. Sunhaven announced their America's release date, and then they announced their Asian release dates. And then they announced most of Europe and also Australia, but not Switzerland, the United Kingdom, and New Zealand. And I, at the time, and still do think they just forgot about those countries.
What
Because,
a weird bunch of countries to kind of like.
well, so the Switzerland and United Kingdom I noticed were alphabetically at the end of the list after all the other countries. So I just think they just copied and pasted incorrectly. I'm not sure why New
Uh,
Zealand. Maybe they just forgot it existed. But so I'm not 100% sure
because
what the
I would think
system.
New Zealand and Australia would be paired together.
Well,
Like,
so right, okay. So the weird thing about the way the eShop works is there are I think six different regions. There is one for North America and one for South America, one for Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, and South Africa, I believe. And then there's one for Japan, one for Hong Kong, and one for South Korea. Was
okay,
that six? That was six.
yeah, I think
I
so.
believe that's all of them. What I understand based on what developers have told me, because I don't have obviously access to the back end of the eShop because I don't have a game to release. But it is my understanding that you just release to the entire region. You can't choose individual countries to release to. So I think this is just them like cleaning up after their mistake and not admitting it, which is weird. And I also think the reason that they released it region by region is because they didn't realize there were multiple regions until they'd already added it to the Americas one.
That's so funny.
And the problem is we don't know any of this because the Sunhaven developers are very bad at communicating. Their Discord, after they announced the European release date, before they announced that also it included United Kingdom, Switzerland, and New Zealand, was just people saying, so is it not coming to the UK? Is it coming a different date? What's happening? And it turns out it's exactly the same date, which would back up my they just forgot to tell you about it, because there are two possibilities here. One is what I think they just it's one button to release to the entire region, and they just didn't realize that it included these countries, so they didn't write them. That is what I think what happened. The other possibility is there's like a long list of the countries, and you check which countries you're releasing in.
Which
But
I could see because it's like, aren't some countries kind of.
yeah, there is a possibility of that, but I mean, generally the regions are very similar
Mhm.
politically.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
but if that is the case, what happened was they ticked all of the boxes except the UK, Switzerland, and New Zealand. They did not check those boxes, and then they put in a different release and checked just those three countries. And because it's not even like an EU versus not EU thing, because
No,
Norway
it's a
is was in the
weird.
first release and is not in the EU, and obviously Australia is not in the EU, and Switzerland is not in the EU, but it, for all intents and purposes, regulatorily, it is the same. And the
Okay.
UK is mostly the same because obviously it was in the EU until 4 years ago. So ah, it's a bit of a
Yeah,
mess.
that sounds like a misclick, a few misclicks for sure.
Misclicks or copy and paste mistake, which is what I think. I think they
Mm,
went and tried to copy the entire list and just missed the last two of them.
that's so funny. And then to not even like acknowledge it or
Yeah.
any like.
Well, that's the weird thing, right? Like people have been talking about this from the moment they published their post about it coming to Europe, and they said nothing. And so, like, if they had just, it almost feels like they just don't want to admit their mistakes.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And but why in
But
such
they
a
could just
weird
make a
way?
joke about it. Like this,
Yeah,
people would find it funny. Like it's not a, it's an inconsequential mistake. Like
yeah.
nobody's.
And the people already think they don't communicate, and so
Mhm.
making this weird, like, oh, we weren't wrong, we were right all along thing just makes it seem even weirder.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, moving on. We have one DLC release. So Everdream Valley have announced a Family Time DLC. This is coming to Steam on the 6th of December and then to consoles next year, Q1. This has new story quests, new NPCs, new animals, and new furniture. Um, that's an interesting thing to put in a DLC.
The furniture.
Well, quests, animals, and furniture. I guess NPCs, like, I guess that's not an unusual thing
Oh
to put
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like new characters in, but the rest seem a bit
Like
odd.
I could see like a lot of games will do like new DLC with more quests,
Uh-huh.
so
Yes, yeah,
maybe
okay, I guess, yeah, they're not saying like this is buy the DLC to
yeah,
get
yeah, that's
quests.
how
It's
I
the
would take
DLC
it.
comes with quests. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
like
sense.
it's like additional furniture, additional
Mhm.
quests, additional
Mhm.
NPCs kind of thing. That
Yeah.
that's I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
that's how
The
I would read
furniture's, I
it.
guess, not weird because it's just like that's a pretty
Yeah, that's
common
just
thing.
a add-on.
And then we have three updates to games. Snacko have released their Builder's Dream update, which I'm sure you can guess what that is. It's a whole bunch of crafting, building stuff. Lots of good improvements. And I guess we're not getting Snacko 1.0 this year. We're probably getting next year because that's 0.9.5. So close.
They intentionally just decided we're gonna add a few more digits into this.
Hmm.
It looks so cute though. I want it to come out.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, because I've not played it since the early access came out. I did play a very early alpha of it.
Okay.
Um, because I've not played it since the early access come out. At this point, I'm like, I just need to wait for the 1.0, right? Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, because I
um,
feel like at this point it's like if you don't wait for the 1.0, like what are you getting out of the 1.0 when it comes
yeah,
out?
yeah, exactly. I will say, Snacko devs, listen to me. We're good friends. We've talked before. Listen to me now. Do not release this in December. You released the early access last December. Do not, do not do this. I beg of you. January's fine. Do not release your 1.0 in December. I will cry. I will cry. Thank you.
You're gonna release it December 31st at
That's okay. December 31st is fine. That's basically January because I will have recorded all the episodes by then for the year. It's not like I need to then rush it, right? It doesn't count as a 2024 game if it's the December the 31st.
Also I just love in their little notes the difference in communication where they literally have screenshots from like the Discord
Mm, yeah,
talking about part of the updates here.
That is such a good point. Snacko Dev is fantastic with communication. Like they are literally just in the Discord talking to people. Sunhaven, I have never seen a single one of them talk in the Discord. So, yeah, definitely. Spirit Tea have released their Phantom Friends update, which adds you can have your spirits as pets now, which is an
To like
interesting change.
follow you around.
Yeah, they follow you around and replace your existing. No, they don't replace your existing spirit companion. They add to your existing spirit companion.
I wonder if I should give this game another chance. It seems like they've added so much since I
Possibly, yeah.
last played,
My
but I have enough
so
other farming games
my
also.
problem with this game wasn't necessarily the lack of content. It just didn't jibe with me personally. Like I
That's
wasn't a huge
that
fan
was
of the
my issue.
bath. I wasn't a huge fan of the bathhouse mechanic and game loop. And if you don't like the
Yeah.
core part, then you're never going to get to the other stuff.
No, that is a good point because I feel like I just at its core, I felt kind of listless playing the game.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, you do have a good point. I just like I want to like it so much.
I agree. I also want to like it. But I guess I bought it. That counts, right?
Yeah, it does have very positive reviews, so obviously other people are enjoying it.
Which is
So I'm
good.
glad.
Which is
Yeah, I'm
good.
glad because I
And it's,
do like I like the whole concept. I think it's a
yeah.
very fun concept.
Yeah, agreed. And it's over 500 reviews as well, so it's not like they must be getting enough.
Hmm.
That's 500 reviews means quite a lot more people buying it, right? Because most people do not review your game.
Yeah, no, I don't think I think I've reviewed like two games in my life.
I don't know if I've reviewed any of them on Steam. Um, they've also added new spirits, so that's what people that's what you care about in the game, right? The
Hmm.
spirits. So there you go. And the final update is Farlands have released their 0.3 update. This is the biggest update Farlands has seen to date. It adds achievements, which is always a good thing, which another game we're about to talk about later on in this episodes could have. That would be great. Please and thank you. I love achievements.
I also love achievements. It's honestly one of the big things that I really like from not playing as many games on the Switch
Yeah.
and switching over to like PC. I'm like, oh, achievements in
I,
every game. How nice.
I wonder if, well, almost every game.
Yeah.
Fields of Mistria. Um, I wonder if, because obviously they have been slowly getting more and more features as they get like the 3DS added a bunch of stuff that other
Mhm.
games, other systems had, and then the Switch got mostly modern. So maybe the next Switch will have achievements. Maybe.
Maybe. I always wonder, I didn't know what the issue was, to be honest, because like I know when some people, what is it called, port the games to the
Hmm.
Switch. Like I know for Hollow Knight, I can't do video screenshots.
Yeah,
I could
interesting.
do plain
So
like
I
image
believe I
screenshots.
believe the video screenshots is something they can disable.
Yeah, because I think
Um,
it's about how hard it is for like the person porting it to like, I guess,
I don't think that requires any work on their
okay.
point. I think it's more a case of they didn't want to add that feature. I'm not sure why,
Which
but
is yeah, because it's weird because you can record it on like every other device.
yeah.
But that was also one of the ones where I don't have achievements, and I know there's achievements for that game.
Yeah. And some games add them into the game itself. Like
Hmm.
they'll add, but that's a lot of work. The whole
Yeah.
point of the achievements in Steam and stuff is that they're very easy to do because it's literally just here's my list of achievements, and then you put in the code to say when the achievement is hit.
Oh, so that's the issue is that it's just hard to add them in on the Switch.
Yeah,
Like
because
the
it doesn't
Switch
have
doesn't
it
make
does
it.
Switch
Okay.
doesn't have it doesn't have an achievement system. So if you want to have it on the Switch, you have to build it entirely yourself, and it would
Oh,
be
I'm
only
dumb.
within game
I
because
understand
there
now.
are a couple of games that have done that. They've
Hmm.
recreated the achievement system in their own game, but then it only
Hmm.
works for that game, and it takes a lot of work to do that.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes a
Whereas
lot
with
more sense.
Steam and with Xbox and with PlayStation, there's a piece of code that they can call which just does the achievement for them.
Okay. I knew
So
it was something to do with how it's set up, but I never
yeah.
looked into the actual basic why behind it.
They've added tool upgrade system as well. They've added food. They've added house upgrade system. They've added new furniture. They've added guests and better NPCs, one of which looks like a xenomorph. Not sure why.
I like his jacket.
Legally distinct xenomorph. Uh, um, yeah, it looks like a pretty big update. I haven't played this game yet. I do want to.
Yeah, it's on my list of games to check out. I try to avoid most um early access, honestly.
Good thing we're not talking about an early access today, then.
I said generally.
So that's the game updates. We now have 3 new games to talk about. The first of which, actually, no, let's go the other way around. Let's talk about Dreamland Farm first, because I think this will be the quickest to talk about. Dreamland Farm. Since childhood, you've dreamed of being close to nature, but being born and raised in a city stood in the way of that. The closer you were to adulthood, the more time you spent with your grandma, who showed you all around her own farm, from crops to berries and mushrooms, everything she knew, she taught you. She prepared you to be her successor. I mean, that's just every farming game.
Yeah. Why do they all do that?
I don't know. And what I find really interesting is like, so if you have a farming game, the description should tell you what's different about it. Don't be like, oh, it's
Yeah.
a farming game. It's like, yeah, we know that, right? We do. It's like
This time it's your uncle and not your grandpa.
yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, let's not pretend. This one looks pretty. I don't see anything unique in this personally.
I only gave it a cursory glance, and it does look pretty. It doesn't look like it's breaking any boxes or molds or whatever the.
But equally, I also didn't think about Fields of Mistria and didn't want to play that until I decided, until it got a lot of buzz, and I was like, okay, it's time to play this one. You know, like sometimes you can't tell without playing it, which is a PR problem, obviously.
Which goes back to your point of pointing out the differences and not the similarities. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what you need to get in touch with all the devs about is changing their PR management.
I will be your PR. No, I will not. That is very much a conflict of interests. This one, interestingly, so it's on Switch and Xbox. It is not on Steam, which is interesting.
Oh, that feels so backwards.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I wonder why too, especially if it's on Xbox already.
Yeah, because it's not like they had an exclusivity deal with Switch, because then it wouldn't be on Xbox.
Yeah.
And the Xbox version did come out like a week after the Switch version. That's not long enough for it to be an exclusivity deal.
No.
So, yeah, weird. I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it.
Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they got something unique in it.
Yeah, hopefully. It's £10. Is it $15? Probably
something like that. Yeah.
So it feels cheap enough to like buy it and play it. And if you're not bothered by it, then it's not the end of the world sort of thing. Next we have Ratopia.
Yeah.
Ratopia. I keep wanting to say Rattopia, but it's only one T, so it's definitely Ratopia.
To be fair, I say Rattopia.
Yeah. But there's no
Which
second
sounds
T.
better. I know, but it's funner to say that way. For the podcast, I will say Ratopia.
Ratopia. Ratopia is a new game that is combined. First of all, a new game. Come on. What is that? I just feel like sometimes I feel like this podcast is just me editing and critiquing the descriptions of games. It's a new game. Yeah, we know that. Don't add that in. Don't. Also just a point. You don't need to put your name in the description because your name is elsewhere on the page, right? Just write game.
You sound like somebody's like 3rd grade English teacher critiquing their like single paragraph.
Write better, and I won't need to be.
You used I 5 times in this one paragraph. I don't think you're wrong. You're not wrong.
That has combined elements of both strategic survival and city building. So, like, call it. So, I would rewrite this sentence as. I mean, this is just off the top of my head. I could probably do better, but you don't need most of that sentence. You just need a strategic survival city builder. There you go. That tells you everything you need to in that sentence. It's also too many words to describe your genre, but that's a problem with every game. Uh,
That, but also I feel like they left out the fact that it's like a top-down vertical game.
it's not a side on.
It is, but it's both. You
How
go up and down, you dig down, but then you can also move side to side.
I've not seen the top down. I've not seen a top down view.
Not top-down view.
Oh, you mean it's
You
you're
build up
digging
and down.
underground? I
Yeah, yeah,
see
yeah.
what you say. Yeah.
Which
Yes.
is
Okay. It
different
looks
than
like you're digging
most.
underground and creating a
Yeah.
society
Listen, I may
underground.
not have the words to describe it at the moment, but it
So
is an aspect
right,
that
let's
makes it
let's.
stand out.
So here's a good because we love to compare games to games. Think about the the boat in Spiritfarer,
Hmm.
but underground rather than building up from a boat.
Yeah.
And graphics wise, it's kind of similar-ish.
Yeah,
It's
I would say it definitely has a similar feel to Spiritfarer style wise.
let me finish reading their weird copy
Yes,
here.
go on.
With plenty of content available. Come on, oh, goodness me, I don't.
Can you finish reading it?
And more planned. Enjoy a vast world to adventure and populate with citizens. Build your own economic system to sustain your ideal city of Ratopia. Goodness me. Uh, right. So it's a side-on city builder underground with rats. There
Hmm.
you go. Uh,
And also, the other key aspect that they didn't even address whatsoever is you play as a character, which is so different than like
yes.
most of these other city builders.
Which is, from my point of view, much better. I much prefer
Yes,
that way of playing.
it's such an
Um,
important aspect. Why wouldn't they include that?
yeah.
That's like my favorite part about it. That's what got me to play the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I'll contain myself.
That's all right.
You
Yeah,
got
this
me
is
mad
interesting.
about
So
how dumb this is written.
this is why so many games fail. Describe your game better. We
There's
want to
so
play
many
good
key aspects
games.
that they don't tell people about in this.
Although
Like,
my whole this is why games it's doing well. It's got over nearly 3,000 reviews and it's very
mhm.
positive. So clearly they don't need my stuff. Apparently, wait, this first came out last year.
Yeah, it came out like last April.
How did I not know about this?
I don't know. I
How
played
am
it
I
last
only how am
winter.
I how am I only you didn't tell me about this?
No, I think I played it last February.
Wow.
It was early
Well,
access. I don't like to talk about early access games.
still is early access.
To be fair, I think I told Mark about it.
How is this game been out for over a year and the most recent version is 1.0.0300 and
Mm.
it's early access but it's 1.0.
Yeah,
Sort
every
out.
time I click on it, I get excited thinking that it's officially released, and then I do a double take and realize it's not.
Guys, sort out your naming and your numbering strategy. What are you doing?
Look,
Like,
they're a mess, but the game is great.
oh, okay, fine. It's on my list to play. We'll see. It looks interesting.
It is. It's very. You have like politics. You have city building. You have farming and like town management kind of stuff. A little combat.
Uh, and finally, we have Ooze Keeper, which I'm just pointing out just now is a roguelite.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I will probably end up playing this.
It's on my wish list right now.
It's on my wish list as well, but that doesn't really mean much.
I literally saw roguelite
I have
and I was
170
like,
games on
oh,
my wish list.
what is it? Why is Al playing one of these again?
Well, I'm not playing it yet. That's the point. Look. If I stopped playing roguelikes and roguelites after the first couple, I never would have played Cult of the Lamb.
That's
So,
true.
you know,
That's very true.
there was one. There was one that I liked. Maybe there'll be a second.
Honestly, Cult of the Lamb is just so good too. It's
It's like a perfect storm.
it really and like I love dungeons. I spend so much of that time just farming. I would like
Yeah.
actively not go into the dungeons.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
really did crush it. But yeah, no, see, yeah, you got to try them.
Ooze
There's
Keeper is a
there's
sorry.
one for everybody.
We'll see. Ooze Keeper is a tactical roguelike that combines monster collecting and resource management. That's a much better statement, but also, again, you don't need your name in the description. The name is multiple times on the page. Just put a tactical roguelike that combines monster collecting and resource management. You'll harness the unique abilities of various slimes, construct efficient structures, and optimize resources to grow your farm and earn money with each turn. Beware, miss your rent and it's game over. I will hate this game.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
That does it does the roguelike bit that I don't like.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hate it, but I will probably play it anyway,
Yeah, I'll
especially
still
as it's
play it.
only £6.
Yeah, I'll absolutely still play it.
Oh,
But that's a good paragraph. That I feel like, sums up the key aspects of the game
much
much better
better.
than the
Much
other
better.
ones.
Just
Yeah.
remove the name. Just remove the name from the description. Much better. And this does not hide the fact there's a roguelike that a lot of games do. This is good. I like the kind of whimsical graphics of it. I do enjoy a game that is like islands that you're building out more you like buy more islands and there are different
Yeah.
biomes and stuff. I do like that.
And who doesn't like a slime? They're
Well,
so
yeah,
cute.
yeah, yeah. And the beauty of it is they don't need to put much work into the designs of them,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
so they
different
can have a
colors.
lot. Well, it's not just different colors. There's things growing out of their heads as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
But
otherwise, you're
the
quite
the
limited
base
if it's just
slime
colors.
is the base slime is very
Yeah.
standard.
I don't know. Maybe I will like it. Maybe I'll like it. Who knows?
Oh yeah, the little cactus slimes are so cute, actually.
I look forward to hearing Slack complain when I say that I might like it. Oh, the cow slimes.
The cow slimes are so cute too.
That is
Anyway,
all the new games. And with that, we've wrapped up the news. We are now going to talk about Fields of Mistria to all the one person that has been asking for it. So
ooh,
here,
Jack.
was it Jack? I can't even remember.
Yeah,
It's
that
been
was
so
his
long.
name.
I don't remember things. So here's an interesting. How long have you been playing Fields of Mistria for now? Like when did you first play it?
I started playing. When did I start? Right after I got back from Scotland, actually. So
Okay,
early October,
so not that
start of
long.
October.
Not that long. Okay.
No, because I,
Uh,
I try to wait for less early access.
I generally agree. There's been a few games that I've played in early access, and sometimes I regret it, sometimes I don't. Um, I try to avoid it in many cases purely because I quite often find that when the 1.0 comes out, I can never get back into it, and that is
Yeah,
always my worry.
that is
Um,
100% my issue also.
this one was interesting because I've heard so much buzz about this game. Like, obviously, we heard about it. I think it was first announced in a Nintendo Direct, interestingly, considering it's not on the Switch yet. Um,
Yeah, every comment section about this game is like, put it on the Switch, please.
yeah, yeah. It's like they clearly have a deal with Nintendo. It's clearly coming to the Switch. Just calm yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
the game isn't even out yet. We only have early access, people. Chill.
yeah, exactly. Look, if you want to be an early access player, you got to get a Steam Deck. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Um,
Or just play it on
the
your computer. I mean, I don't have a great laptop. It runs.
yeah, no, get a Steam Deck. Um, look, here's the thing, right? Okay, if I was not such a big Pokemon and Nintendo fan in general,
hmm
I would probably be saying if you can only have one console, sell the Switch, buy a Steam Deck.
Yeah, I
I think
agree. I
that.
think if I wasn't, I don't even have a Steam Deck. And I love my Switch. I played that thing so much. And then I got a laptop that could run Steam and I barely touch it.
Well, this is the. I mean, how much of that is like because of what it gave you? It's not about the console itself, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Yeah.
console
Yeah.
isn't amazing. Even when it came out, it was. I mean, it was revolutionary in what it did, but
hmm
like, it was still. And I'm not trying to knock it or anything, but
No, it's limited. It's limited.
it's limited, and it's like it is just what it is, and your memories of it are what you play on it.
hmm
And
Exactly. And
and
like
it's the
I
same
played
thing
it
as
on
like
the,
you don't play on your Game Boy anymore, despite the fact that you have many fond memories of that. It's just one of
yeah.
these
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
where things are done, and you're going to stop playing your Steam over the next couple of years. And whether you replace it with a new Switch, sorry, did I say Steam? You're going to stop playing your Switch over the next couple of years. Whether it's because you got a new Switch or whether it's because you get a Steam Deck, like that's just going to happen.
Yeah. No, exactly. And when I had the Switch, it was perfect. Like I was going to work, I was commuting to work, whatever.
Mm,
Unbeatable for that. Like I played it, I mean, I also played it at home all the time
hmm
in handheld mode, but like
Oh yeah. I
it
never I
was
never play my Switch on the TV except
no.
when I'm playing Just Dance.
Okay, that's fair. That's a little harder.
Yeah, playing Just Dance on a teeny tiny screen. No, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Ring Fit is the only time I think I ever plugged mine in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no, it's true. It's like uh it gets outdated. It's things move on, the world moves on.
yeah,
It's not to
yeah,
say
yeah.
it's like done for. Like I still go and play games on it every once in a while, but like I'm not buying new
Yeah,
games on
no,
it
but
in the same way.
it's an interesting question as well. Like, because yeah, how much of the Switch's success was because when it released, and like would because they didn't invent the idea of a portable console
No, but they
with the
definitely were the
Switch.
ones who
The the hybrid nature of it is obviously what was, I think,
Mhm.
the first big thing to do that. Um, Certainly with the controllers and stuff, and that was revolutionary. But how much of it was because of when it was, especially because only 3 years later COVID happened?
Mhm.
And would we have been so big about that console if we had been in our houses all the time when it came out, sort of thing? Um,
Yeah, that's very true.
I know it's wild to think that it's been longer since COVID started than it was than
Before
the
the
Switch
Switch
had been
came
out
out.
before
Yeah.
COVID was. Like that's just what is time. Uh, anyway, right? No, we're talking about Fields of Mistria, right? Fields of Mistria. So, I've heard,
Do you get to do I is it me? Am I distracting you? Am I
I
the
think
cause of
it's
these things?
it's not just you because it happens all the time.
Okay. Okay. Okay, cool.
It's just ADHD, right? Uh,
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it's not fully my
no,
fault for
no,
like
no, no,
tangenting.
no,
Okay.
for sure not. You might not be helping, but
No, I'm not, but okay.
it's
As
all
long as I'm
good.
not.
People love it. People love it.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
cool.
Fields of Mistria. When it was first announced, it did not. I did not think this was what the game was going to be, right? Because they didn't show any game. They just showed like a pre-rendered video that was high quality graphics.
Oh,
Shall
really?
we
I don't
say?
remember when it first
It's actually
released.
on. It's on the Steam. The beginning of one of the trailers is basically what it was up until they start throwing the up until they start showing the actual gameplay footage. Is that quality with like
Oh, I see what you're saying.
and I was like,
Yes.
that was not. Was not expecting
It's
a
like
Stardew
almost like
like, right?
watercolory. Like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
because
then you
that's what
get this
this is.
very like
This is a star.
retro.
This is a Stardew like, right? That's what this is. That's
Hmm.
the description of it, right? Where they say start your new life, build the farm of your like. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's a Stardew like. You know what you're expecting. It's a
Yeah.
Stardew like, but it has magic.
Yep.
And a lot of this will come down to a lot of what we think about this game, which obviously we're going to talk about over the next hour or so. Hopefully less. We'll see. Um, is how well it does what it does. That's
Hmm.
what comes down to with a Stardew like nowadays is how well it does it and does it do anything new and interesting.
Absolutely. Which is it's so funny because I try so hard not to do the stereotypical like, oh, Stardew or not thing, but like it's almost impossible to not do that anymore.
I think we do a disservice if we don't because
Yeah.
let's not pretend like most people that is
Yes,
the
that is
genre.
true. I hate the idea of like you made something and now immediately it's just I guess from like a creation standpoint, like as a creator, it's like, oh, I made this piece of art and now it will only be compared in terms of the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, but I mean you could
It's
well,
not a bad thing.
sure.
I'm just
But
saying that it's
that's
always in the back of my head.
I mean, yeah, but okay, if you make a picture that looks like the Mona Lisa, then you should expect that, right?
Yes, yes,
Like,
yes, 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 yes.
it's not
Yes.
like you're gonna draw a picture of a cat and people will compare it to the Mona Lisa, right? Like
Yes.
this is how these things work. If you're
No, yeah,
clearly
yeah,
inspired
yeah.
by something and you're building off the back of something, like how Stardew was building off the back of Harvest Moon,
Hmm.
that is a thing that it wore on its sleeve. It was very clear what it was doing, and yet
Hmm.
it has superseded that, and it has
To become like
become
the
the
industry
standard,
standard. Yeah.
and it becomes the thing that everything gets compared to, but
Yeah.
everything gets compared to something.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I guess some people just tend to use that concept as like a crutch, or maybe I just see very negative opinions a lot of the time
You mean in
using.
terms of describing what a game and like saying,
Yeah,
oh, it's bad
yeah,
because it's just a Stardew ripoff?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think I would like to point out, I'm not saying it's a Stardew like. as a bad thing.
No, no,
I'm
no. I
saying
don't think
it's a
you are.
Stardew
Yeah.
like as a way to describe what it is, so that then we can continue with that discussion with that knowledge. And yes, we will be comparing some of it to Stardew and saying that Stardew did things better and it did things better than Stardew,
Yeah.
because that's just what life is.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Maybe I've
Just
been
like how
spending too
every
much
two,
time in
just like
TikTok comments.
just like how every 2D platformer will forever be compared to Mario as well,
Yeah. Yeah,
whether
that's
it's
very
good or
true.
bad.
Every
You know,
single Hollow Knight-esque new
yeah, exactly,
Metroidvania is now.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So a Hollow Knight like.
yeah. Now I gotta make a Hollow Knight light to put in my hallway. Thank you.
Okay, so I do we need anything more explaining? Do we need anything more to explain the concept of the game before we get into more stuff? It is Stardew-like, but it also has magic.
And dragons.
And well, sure, dragon statue that talks to you.
I
Not
mean,
actually seen any actual dragons yet.
yeah, but dragons are cool. Come on.
Okay, so before we talk about the game, I want to know your game time. So what is Steam? How long does Steam say you've been
Oh,
playing it? I also
94
wait. So I want to know
Sorry.
I've got a list. So I want to know your game time, what Steam says you've been playing. I want to know where you are in a year, like what year you're in and where are you.
Okay.
And oh, there was a third thing. What was the third thing I wanted to know?
Let me actually
Uh
open the game.
yeah, well, yeah. I can't remember what the third thing was, so never mind. We'll just do those two things then. So I want to know how long Steam says you've played it for and where you are in game.
Okay, so according to Steam, I played for 94.1 hours. I think between October like 3rd and October 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh no, the sound. I hope you can't hear this.
I cannot.
Okay, good. I am in fall. How do I tell what year it is?
Oh, that's a good question. If you pause, or if you go to your inventory, the
Yeah,
side it
yeah.
says what year X.
Year two, fall 15.
Interesting. Okay, so
And my
I.
town rank,
Oh yes,
is
that
that
was
what
the
you were
other
going to
thing.
ask?
Yes. What's your town rank?
Or Sapphire?
Okay, cool. So that's interesting. So I am at 45 hours, so about half of what you've done.
Okay.
I am in spring of year two,
Okay.
and I am at town rank Sapphire.
Okay. What
So
was I doing?
so I suspect it's one of these things where I tend to speed run the start farming games.
Okay. You know
Um
what I tend to do is I tend to just leave my computer running with the game on.
oh, that probably doesn't help.
Yeah,
But
that's what
yeah,
it is.
like the spring of year one for me lasts, you know, what, about 3 hours in total, because I'm going out, I'm doing the crops,
Hmm.
I'm like speed running a couple of things, you know, seeing if there's anyone interesting to talk to, doing the mines if I have any energy left, and then I'm going straight to bed. Like I'm quite often going to bed at like 11 a.m. In spring year one, because you're not spending money on getting more stamina. It's like I don't understand the like, oh, I want to get everything done, you know, in as little in-game days as possible, except as like a one-off
Oh
challenge
no,
type
I
thing.
was I was chugging berries
Oh,
to
fair
so
enough.
I have some tricks that we could talk about later.
Sure.
Oh, my other question was what level are you? That was I think.
What level?
So in the
Oh,
info menu, it's fall, year, and then level.
oh, so that is the town rank. It's just
Oh, okay, okay.
there's like 10 with, so you'll be 50 something, because the
Hmm.
sapphire is 50s. So I'm
Yeah,
58.
okay, I'm 50. I think I quit right after I.
Nice. I beat you. Um, so fine, great. Let's talk about. I feel like that information is useful for people.
No, it is
Um,
because and we're both clearly at a similar point in the game.
yeah, yeah. I think we've basically both done all of the in-game story that exists, the
Hmm.
main
That's
quests.
that's what I kind of once I did that, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, because you've done the barn expansion, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hit like
That's
every roadblock that I
yep.
possibly could.
Yeah. Yes. You're down at level 40 in the mine. You've
Yep.
done the barn expansion. You are
Yeah.
maxed out on all the levels except the ones that you just cannot be bothered constantly doing and getting up to level 45.
Yeah,
Uh,
literally.
Great. Okay, so let's talk about the the start of it, the character creator. Um, One thing I noticed, everything in this game is changeable after the initial thing except your birthday.
Yes,
And
which
this is
is
excellent.
yeah, I like that
Absolutely.
a lot.
Like, and it's not just like it's your name, it's
Hmm.
your pronouns. It is
Hmm.
literally everything is changeable. And I absolutely love this. Your farm name, your
Yeah.
hairstyle, like everything is changeable after the fact. And this is fantastic because one of the thing a lot of people have is the, oh no, w- I can't decide on what to do. That is a huge thing of starting with these games, and that's not.
Do you know how long I wait to start some of these games? Because I
Yeah,
literally just sit there on the naming screen.
and this is the thing. This is why every single game I just go. My name is Al. My farm is the name of my house. This is what I do. I don't do anything else because I don't have the
Well,
imagination for that.
you have cute names for your houses and stuff. We don't have that here.
Well,
What am
most
I gonna
people
do?
don't.
Name my
Most people
house
don't.
like 90 or something? Like
Mo-
that's not fun.
Most people don't. It's not super common for you have a name
Oh,
in your
really? I
house.
thought it was way more, or was that an
No,
older?
no. It probably depends where you are and stuff, but yeah, no, like most houses don't have a name. I'm the only one on my
Okay.
street that has a name. Um, and I'm fine with them not letting you change your birthday because, like, I mean, you can't change your birthday in real life, right? Like it's the one thing on that list that is a thing that you can't change.
That is
Everything else is
true.
something, and that's even because you don't even have to go into the whole change your pronoun. It doesn't. Shut up, right? Like there are
Yeah.
so many reasons. Like if you make a mistake, if you just
Yeah.
can't decide, there are so many reasons why these things should be changeable. And yes, also obviously, it's good for people who would like to change their gender, which does
Hmm.
happen. So that's good. I like that.
Inclusive all around
Um,
for the indecisive idiots and those who don't want to change their genders.
the other accessible, inclusive thing that I liked, you can be bald, which many games you can't. So
I didn't even consider that. That is true. You really can't be bald in most games.
it drives me insane because you're looking at it's like I don't like any of these hairstyles and I don't really have hair. It's like I have the shortest hair possible while still having hair.
Hmm.
And they don't most games don't have that hairstyle either. It's like, oh, you've got short hair, and I'm like, that hair needs cut. That is really long hair. Do not tell me that that's short hair, right?
Yeah. And it makes no sense too because you think it's just the base character.
Yeah, just don't
Just
put hair
don't
on them.
put hair on it. There obviously something exists underneath that
Yeah,
short hair that it has.
exactly. So yeah, the character creator is quite good. It's got quite a lot of kind of stuff to start with,
Hmm.
and then obviously you unlock more clothes as you go on. Um, I was quite happy with the character I created. It didn't take me too long to get something I was happy with.
Yeah, I think I spent more time trying to figure out what crazy colors to use.
Yeah.
You know, that's always the hardest part. What color hair do I want to have?
That's not a problem for me. No.
Clearly,
Uh,
this time.
yeah, I don't. I legitimately don't think I have any problems with the character creator. Pretty
Hmm.
good. Happy with that.
No, I liked it. It was good.
The other thing I want to talk about, I like to talk about early, is the tutorials, because I have many opinions about them and lots of things. Uh, every tutorial in this game is optional. It says, "Do you want to see this tutorial?" And you
Yep.
say yes or no, and then the tutorial is like a slide deck of this is what you do, and you can go backwards and forwards. Sorry, forwards and backwards, which is key. The going backwards is very important, because how many times do you click on and then you realize you hadn't read and you can't go back?
Every
Not
time.
great. Uh, The one thing I've not checked is can you actually go back and see those after the fact?
I thought there was something.
I can't see them in the menu.
Let me reopen the game. Wait a second. But I will say, as someone who typically does not like handholdy tutorials or tutorials for the most part in general, I thought these were structured really nicely.
I
And I really
agree.
like the option that you could skip them and that I honestly did not skip most of them just because I was like,
Same. But I will be if I do a second game,
mhm,
I'll be skipping them straight away, which is why
exactly.
I like when they do that.
And also, even if you didn't skip them, it's like, oh, I'm just going through slides. Like you said, it's not some long cut scene that you actually have to like pay attention to because, if you want to understand what's actually happening, like it's just some slides to look at.
I agree. Yeah, I can't see anything about being able to view the tutorials later on. So that would be one change I would make is give us a thing in
I
the
don't
menu that allows
either.
you to go back and see them. That'd be good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
But so far, our accessibility is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about mechanics. So I guess overall, movement and controls and tools and stuff, I think is mostly pretty good. There's a few things that took me a while to figure out, like the by default the button for an action is so this was on the Steam Deck. So obviously I don't know whether it works differently in terms of what it shows you when you're not on the Steam Deck, but there was no mapped button that does the use the weapon use the axe over and over again, for example. So you had to like press it and then press it and press it because that one was the charged one, which obviously you don't have access to at the beginning, right? Because most of them they just start off with you just using it on one square. And so I had to remap because I couldn't stand that. I couldn't stand just the constant pressing to
You
to
couldn't
cut
hold
down a
down
tree.
just
You
without
couldn't, no.
remapping? Oh, that's annoying because I could just hold down. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I that drove me
I
insane.
was on
So
keyboard though. So,
yeah, so there's two buttons though, presumably one for charged
hmm
and one for the multiple use one, right, on the keyboard. But on the presumably,
wait, what do you mean multiple use? Did I miss a
so
mechanic?
holding the button down and it just keeps using it.
No, that's charged for me.
So well, there's two different buttons though. It's two different options.
Did I miss a whole mechanic this whole time?
So it's so I had to go into the settings and into the controls. Let me
Let
see
me
what it
open the
was
game again.
called.
Why do I keep closing the game? I don't know.
So you've got use tool charged and use tool repeated.
Interesting.
Those are two different controls.
So could you
And
just like go around like hammering the
yeah,
ground
yeah,
essentially with the
yeah,
axe and like
yeah,
moving?
yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Um, I mean, for me, like that is the default to start with, right? Like that's how Stardew works. Is you hold the button and it does that to start
Hmm
with. I think. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have anything set for this.
There you go then. So so there's no default mapping for that button on PC either. That's interesting
Yeah, I
because
didn't even know that existed. Okay, I'm gonna
I
change
think
this.
because I think that should be uh there as an option.
There's two buttons for use tool charge though.
That's fine. That's just because
Yeah,
you've got
but
two
like
set. That doesn't.
why do that and not give one to the repeated one?
I don't know. I don't know.
None of the other options, none of the other interactions really have a secondary one except for like movement.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they implemented this and then didn't have it set to anything, so you only found it
That's such
here in
a
the settings.
that's so obnoxious. I want to use
Yeah,
that so much.
because I couldn't stand because like especially at the beginning when you're like hitting the tree for 10 things in a row,
Hmm
I couldn't stand just press, press, press.
Yeah.
It's just
Yep.
it drove me insane. So I went to the settings and found it. So I have because I think the thing is that the different tools work better for different ones, right? You are never going to use the axe charged, right? You're not.
For trees, no, not unless
Yeah,
you're like doing like the first cleanup, and then at
exactly.
that point you don't have it. So,
Like a 3 by 3 grid, like maybe when you get
hmm
to the point where because there's obviously levels of tools that we have access to in the game yet, which are
hmm
presumably going to get higher, but the highest you've got just now is 3 by 6. You're not using that for cutting down trees. Let's
no,
not
unless
pretend
you're
anything.
literally not clearing trees out of your yard for like 2 seasons, I
Exactly.
don't think that many trees are
Exactly.
growing that close together.
But you also don't use repeated for watering because it happens
Hmm
too quickly and you don't move very quickly when you're
hmm
using that, right? So you use the charge for that one and you use the repeated for the other ones and
Yeah. No, you're
you
right.
could you could pro- I would say I think it would be legitimate to have just one button that does different things depending on what tool you have, but I can understand why they have the ability to do both and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like so I will say for the axe, I have used the grid to hit like a bunch of twigs and stuff that are like, if there's like a bunch of rocks and
Mm.
like a bunch of twigs and stuff in one area, I will do the
Mhm.
charged one just to clear them all out in one go.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I
But not
guess.
for the trees, not for the trees. That's crazy.
um, so that I think the tools are pretty good. Other than that, I like when
Hmm
some games have the changes tool depending on what you're doing, but I understand that's a bit more complicated. So
Yeah,
like,
it's fine.
I will
I didn't
say,
mind going through flipping through those.
I will say, I do. like when games have like your tools in a different section and not in your bag, especially now
Like
when
a
we
little
have
mini
such,
menu.
yeah, especially now when you have such a limited bag.
Hmm.
Because especially to start with, you only have like the one thing. It's so
Yeah.
painful to carry all your tools around, right? And it'd be
Yeah.
nice to, because like what I do is I store some of my tools in a box and only take them out when I use them.
That's what I do
But
too.
that's just annoying as well. So like there
Yeah,
have been
because
other
if
games that have done
you
that, and I feel like
forget the
that's a good thing to
tool,
do.
if you forget the tool while you're out,
Exactly.
it's like, oh, there goes that thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you have the tool on you and then your pack is full and then you can't get the thing that you wanted,
Yeah.
oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I will say it's very nice that you could just things just exist on the ground after you've interacted with them if your bag is full.
Yeah, and I've not found them ever disappear. They seem to be
No.
there because they're definitely there like 2 days later. So I
Yeah.
suspect they're just there forever, which is really good because yeah, that like you're just like, oh, I'll throw this away and I'll come get it tomorrow is fantastic, especially early game.
Exactly. And if there is something you really want to like take out of your bag instead of just like tossing it, you can like literally throw it
Hmm. Yeah,
and then just go and pick it up the next day.
yeah. Because there's a button to just throw it
Yeah.
from.
The throw button and the jump button, I think, are two good little mechanics that they added.
Yeah, so I do like the jump. I will say one thing about it is I'm describing this as sticky. So if you're walking next to a wall and then you jump, you will lose your momentum.
Oh, interesting.
So it doesn't happen if you're out in the open, right?
Okay, yeah.
So if you're just walking around normally and you jump, you keep your momentum. I think
Hmm.
is actually technically slightly slower than running, but that's okay. But if you then walking next to something, so say you go up next to a building or a
Hmm.
bridge or something, and you're walking, literally touching it, so like walking along the wall. If you jump, you will lose your momentum almost entirely,
Interesting.
which is not great. And I suspect
No.
that's a collision detection issue that they're having, and it's probably fixable, but I don't understand their code, so I don't know. But yeah, that doesn't feel great to me. But the jumping in general is great, especially because you can jump over rocks and weeds
Hmm.
and stuff like that. That is a great thing. I love that.
And like
And I'm
even
going to be
like
really annoyed when I go back to Stardew and don't have that.
yeah, like even like it's like oh I came in to like the what's his name, Hayden, I forget his
Hmm.
name now,
Yeah. Oh, and
his
jumping over
farm.
his fence. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
coming from my farm to his farm. I'm not going to
Mhm.
go around the front. I'm going to walk
I,
across the lawn. I'm going to
I
jump over the fence. Like, come on.
yeah, I felt because Fae Farm had jumping as well, and the jumping in Fae Farm I think is nicer. It's more fun to do,
Okay.
but this is good enough.
Yeah, this is like I'm not
I
like
think this
jumping
should
around the
be.
map, you know,
Oh,
but
I am.
like okay.
Just because it's fun. I think this should be the default for farming games now. There aren't a
Yeah.
huge number of things that I go, this is something that every farming game should have, but I do think this is something that every farming game should have now is the jumping.
It adds a
It
nice
just
touch to the mines too, I think. Like it just
yeah.
adds a nice touch in general to things. Like
Yeah, it adds to the combat in the mines a bit because you can like,
mhm.
jump around and avoid. And
That
that's
yeah, and like
ignoring the fact
the
that obviously there are some you have to jump to
yes,
navigate some
yeah.
areas and stuff like that.
But like even on the navigation level, it's like you get like this kind of different level of exploration that you don't always get
Hmm.
in farming games because they don't typically let you jump
Yeah.
over like a river or
Yeah. Yeah.
into
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
river or
Yeah. How long did it take you to figure out you could go in the water?
that one wasn't long. It did take me a long time to figure out that there are no gates because I could just jump over the fence.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
good to
I fully understood the concept of jumping. I did the jumping in the mines and the river and the blah blah blah. And I literally could not figure out how to build a fence
know.
because I couldn't figure out where the gate was. And then I went on Reddit and someone was like, you just jump over the fence. And I said, oh, okay. I see.
I,
That
I
makes sense.
I have one other issue with well, two other issues with jumping.
Hmm.
One is that if you're jumping over a cliff, you have to be at like the right angle, otherwise you won't jump off. So it's like the
Hmm.
cliff comes
Yeah, yeah,
along
yeah.
horizontal and then goes diagonally up. You can't jump down off that cliff. You have to jump diagonally down off the cliff, which is
Hmm.
not great. And finally, there is one cliff in the Narrows that you can't jump over because it's too high. And that just drives me insane. Why have you got a
Mm,
one you can't do? Because it's like you're running down from the mines, and like it's not an issue anymore because I have the mist mirror or whatever it's called. But like I'm running down to get home, and I'm jumping and jumping over the cliffs, and then I can't jump over the cliff. I can't. Oh,
hmm.
it's because it's the one that's too high because it's 1 pixel higher, and you have to go
Yep.
around and back down. That's really annoying. Just let us jump over that cliff. Come on.
Yeah. And I like to jump off the cliffs in I like in
Yeah,
games in general. I just like jumping off the cliffs. It's fun.
takes me back to Pokemon, jumping off the ledges.
Yeah, and drowning. It was like Tony Hawk for like the first day of what was that Sword and Shield?
Yeah, yeah. Um, Anything else movement wise? I think that's basically everything I wanted to talk about.
I think so too. I think that covers it.
Let's talk about the different aspects of farming then. So first off, we have farming. That was probably bad wording. I probably could have worded that better. Uh,
Oh, let's
this
go back
is
up to the bad paragraphs describing games.
this is mostly pretty standard for a Stardew like. There's a
Mhm,
couple of things that are changes that I really like. One is that your watering can is infinite.
mhm. I love that.
Fantastic. Please, please don't make me refill a watering can. I don't care that it's less realistic. It is more fun.
We're playing a farming game where I got to leave my city job to go build a farm. What's less
My
realistic?
turnip grows in 3 days. Of course, it's
Yeah.
not realistic. Um,
Yeah, no,
the
I
other
hate that so much.
the which is really funny because you still have a well on the farm, but you just don't have to
Yeah,
use it.
it's just for show. It's just to
I
be
was like, how
cute.
big is this watering can? When am I going to have to do it? And then when it got to autumn, I was like, oh, I don't think I ever have to refill it. The other thing is you can charge for charge. You can do a charged seeding, so you can like
Hmm.
do multiple seeds at the same time, which is great because I think at the current situation I can do is 6 by 6,
Yeah.
which is just so fast. I love it.
Yep. And it's like, do you save any energy by doing that? I don't think so,
I
right?
don't think you do save any
But you
energy
save
by doing
time.
that. You save time because this is a decision that farming games make. You either do when you upgrade tools, either they're easier to use, or you can do more with them with one thing,
Hmm.
or they have a wider range or all of them. And
Yep.
Stardew does all of them. It's easier to use. It uses less energy, and you can do more at the same time.
Hmm.
Fields of Mistria just does the you can do more in one time, so it's faster, but it still takes the
Which
same
is
amount of energy.
fine. Like, it's fine for me.
I don't have a huge issue with it.
Yeah,
Like, would I like if it took less energy to do that? Yes, I would.
of
Um,
course. But like,
but
it's not the worst.
I'll tell you what is the worst. They don't
What?
have sprinklers.
Yeah.
Where are my sprinklers?
Yeah. The lack of sprinklers, all I keep telling myself is I'm like, it's an early development, early access, whatever it's called.
It
They
is.
better add sprinklers.
It is in early access, but it's hit the point where I no longer I've got too many crops. I can't
Yeah.
play the game anymore.
Yeah.
Because it uses all of my energy
And
and it
all of your
takes half
time.
the day,
Yep.
and I'm just constantly farming now, and
Yep.
that's not fun. Um,
That is
Add
also how I
sprinklers.
felt year two. I was
Yeah.
like, I have overextended myself in terms of
Mhm.
farming, and it has now taken up more of this game that I would like.
Yep. Yep. Which the thing is, like, that is the goal of these games is to get as big a farm as possible, doing
Yeah.
as much as possible. And you can't do that without either making it cost less energy as you upgrade the tool, which they don't do,
Hmm.
and having sprinklers, which they don't do, or some kind of automation. It doesn't have to
Hmm.
be sprinklers. Feel free to do something different. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Do
Do in-ground
some kind of
irrigation. I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Give us some kind of automation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. I definitely noticed like towards the end of each season, I would stop planting stuff because I was like, I want to do other stuff. I don't
Yeah.
want to keep doing this.
Especially near the end of year one, because like a lot of year one is just trying to fill out as much of
Hmm.
the museum as possible.
Yes, which I think I did mostly.
I did it after spring. I mucked up spring. I didn't realize that it had so many
Mm.
crops, and by the time I realized it was too late. So yeah, that'll
I
be the
miss some
first
of
thing I do when I
the
get back into playing the game because I'm now in spring.
yeah, I miss some of the forageable items the
Mm.
first spring.
Yes, yeah, that too.
But also, so for the farming, also, I really like the aspect that when you harvest them or plant them, sometimes even you get like seeds.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
And
So,
then,
one of the things about this game is you have. So we just have to give a background to how this
oh,
happens.
yes, sorry, I didn't
So,
mean to jump the
no,
gun.
no, no, it's fine. I didn't have it in the list, so this is the point to talk about it because everything has upgrades like this. So, at some point as you're playing, this is where we get into very light story spoilers. But I will
Oh,
be
yes.
honest with you, listeners, there is no real story in this game yet, so you are not really spoiling much. But if you
We're
really
just
care,
spoiling
this is
mechanics.
yeah. If you
It's
really care, this is your time to get out. If you like the sound of the game, go play it. You know, it's good. Right now, if you're listening, you don't care about spoilers. So there is a point where you find a statue on your farm of a dragon. You repair it, I think, and it then starts talking to you. Um, and you kind of like upgrade it as you go, and it gives you, as you level up your different professions like you do in Stardew, the same thing, right? You do more of an item, you get better at it, you go up a level. As you go up those levels, you get things that you can unlock. There's like another currency you get for doing things, and that lets you unlock these special abilities. And for the different things, you have different ones. So for farming, you have a bunch of really nice abilities. Like these are really good abilities.
Mhm.
One of them is that when you water a crop, you have a chance of getting a seed from a crop. Um, if you, one of them is when you sow a seed, you have a chance of watering the seed next to it.
Mhm.
And there are others as well. One of them, which until I unlocked, was going to be a complaint I had about the game, which is that there is no quick way to harvest crops, except there is, because once you get to level 45 farming, you can unlock sickle sword, which means your sword is used to cut down crops, which is much faster. I really like that. So there's a lot more of these
Mhm.
as well. But yeah, as Kelly says, they're really nice additions. Like the one that gives you a chance of getting a seed for a crop you water, you get a lot. Like I have
Mhm.
my farm is currently, let me just double check. It is 6 plots of 6 by 6.
Oh, you
So
have a
that
big farm.
uh, Kelly, you've no idea. I'm all in on farming games. I farm in farming games. So that's 216. That's 216 plots, and for winter, I mostly just used the snow peas, which was the
Mhm.
highest value crop. And just with watering that crop throughout winter, I have 100 seeds for that crop. So that is half of what I'll need for my current farm the next time I go into winter. That's really good. That's really big.
That is. It makes such a difference. I save them up and then I check them all before the first day of the season
Hmm.
to see like, oh, how much money do I have to spend? It saves you so much money.
It really does. It really
Especially
does.
for like those like repeating crops. They cost so much money.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um when I went to go check, I have 3 rows of six, and then for some reason just one row that's half a row.
Oh dear. Oh dear. How much money do you have
So
just now?
right now I have 4,000. I think I just bought like a new farm, a new barn, whatever it is, updated the
Okay.
barn.
I have 120,000.
$120,000.
Yes.
Oh, you're min maxing.
Kelly, I don't think you realize how I play these games. Like I either play almost nothing and barely get through spring, or I am through into year two and nearly a millionaire. Like, like
Listen,
because
all my
this.
skills are full.
But the problem is that there is a there. Well, mine aren't. There you go. That's where you've done more than me. This is the thing is, I feel like I've hit the peak just now because of the lack of automation, which means that up until this point, I was very quickly, increasing money, right?
Hmm.
Like, got to the point where, when I got to fall, I wasn't able to buy the 216 of the most expensive crop because obviously that's a lot of money. But by
Hmm.
winter, I could. So I bought 216 snow peas for winter, which
That's
then
crazy.
by the end of winter, I had 10x'd my money. But the problem is because there's no sprinklers, I physically cannot do any more than 216 crops. I just can't do it without
Losing
investing
your mind.
without losing my mind and investing very heavily in something that would give me more food, right? Like I'd
Hmm.
need to do something else. But the problem then is everything that gives you food also costs you stamina to do. And I think if I did that, I could probably double the number of crops I'm doing, but I don't think you could go any higher because you would just run out of time in the day
Yeah, that's true.
because there's no more upgrades for the tools that I can do.
That is also true. Yeah, no, they need to do something about the sprinklers. That is truly my shared complaint because man, it just makes such a difference.
Yeah.
If I just want to play more of the game than farming, and I'm not even at your level.
Okay, next we have anything else about farming? Are you happy with covered
No,
that?
I think that's good. I think that's good.
So next we've got ranching.
Oh, wait. I'm
Oh,
sorry. I do like that you can expand your farm.
so can you actually?
Yeah, I
I
dug
know
a
there's a.
hole.
Oh, you mean like that? Okay, sorry. So the
Yeah,
reason
yeah,
why
yeah.
I asked, can you expand it, is what I meant was there is
Like,
an option at the carpenters to expand your farm,
oh, but you can't actually. Yes.
but it's grayed out, and I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think
not
you
an
can
option
unlock it
yet.
yet. So I
No.
think you'll actually be able to
Sorry.
buy more land later on. Which, by the way,
Yes.
really nice mechanic. I'm looking forward to
I
that
think that'll
when they
update your
implement that.
house too, maybe.
And there's a separate thing. There's
Yeah.
upgrading your house and there's
Yeah,
expanding your
okay.
farm, two
Yeah.
separate ones. So
No, I
what
was
you're
talking
talking
more
about
about
is
tilling the
yeah.
soil and the actual farm plot
So the way
that you can farm in.
so the way that Stardew works, this is where we're comparing it to Stardew, right?
Hmm.
Is you have land that you're able to farm on and land you're not able to farm on. And the land you farm on, you use the hoe and then you can plant seed.
Hmm.
In Fields of Mistria, you almost entirely just have land that you can farm on. There's a few exceptions,
Hmm.
like you can't do it too close to your house, etc. But you have plots of land that you can hoe, and you have plots of land that you can't hoe, but you can turn it into plot land that you can or can't hoe using this
Hmm.
spade. So you default to, I think it's like a 9 by 9 square is the default, something like that.
Hmm.
But you can then use the shovel to change which plots you can and can't farm on. And you're like, oh, well, why wouldn't you just be able to do it on all of it? It's actually really nice because you can say, these are the plots of land I'm allowed to farm on. And then if you use the hoe to use like a charged attack to do a large area, it will only hoe the areas you've allowed it to do. So
Hmm.
you can do a nice pattern, which I like to do because I like to have them like bunched together in specific ways because it has to make sense. Um, and it means you're not going to accidentally plow some land that you don't want to be plowed, which
Yep.
is really nice.
Yep. And
I
you make
agree.
cute designs for your farm.
I wouldn't say mine was a cute design. I would just say it makes logical sense. uh,
Tomato, tomato. Okay, I'm
oh,
done now. That's the actual end of my notes for
that's fine.
farming.
Next, we have ranching, which I feel like my comments on this are going to be almost exactly the same as farming, which is what is there is nice, but it needs automation.
Yes, I will say. So I actually didn't get a chance to play the update. However, the addition of the bell that
Oh, was that not in the original version?
no,
Mm. Okay,
that was
so
consuming my time
I
also, which is so silly because it
how did
sounds
it
like nothing.
how did it work before? Did you have to like manually tell each animal to go in or out?
You have to do it by each barn.
Oh, you think you
And
still have to do that? Is there a?
oh, I thought it
Oh, there's a
was
bit.
no,
Oh,
no, they
oh,
said
here
it's
we
a
go.
big bell.
There's a big bell item which calls
Yeah.
in out. Oh, how do you get that then? Anyway, not important. I have one complaint about the bells on the barns is that your animals will never go back to bed unless you tell them to, which I don't like
Yeah,
because
you can't just leave the door open like Stardew and then have
yeah,
them.
which I'm not because if the weather's nice the next day, you can, I think, and they
Hmm.
won't have any negative consequences, which is weird. But if the weather's bad the next day, they'll be grumpy at you.
Hmm.
And I'm not. I'd like them to go to bed themselves, please. They are animals. They're not amoeba. They know where
Yeah,
their bed is.
yeah.
Why are they not going to their bed? That's what animals will do. And it's like, oh, it's not realistic. I don't care. Make them go to bed. please. It's
It's
fine. I'm totally
especially,
fine with having to manually call them out in the morning. That's
yeah,
fine, but let them
yes.
go to bed themselves because I never remember.
I never remember. Half the time I'm running home from the mines,
Exactly. It's like it's half
racing the
past
clock.
one. It's
Yeah.
half past one. You're about to fall asleep. You don't have time to go and tell you. Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. No, yeah, it's like I am holding down that button to run as fast as I possibly can, and it is not
Hmm.
doing anything. But then all of a sudden the animals are still out, and I'm like, do I pass out or do I let the animals in or what do I do?
I
Yeah, no,
agree.
I don't like that. So seeing that there's one big bell to at least ring, I could put that like right in front of my house and then just hit that, hopefully.
Oh, the big bell. It's a tier 4 skill on ranching, which I have not unlocked, sadly, yet.
I think I have.
What's my ranching at? I am at 30, so I've still got quite a bit to go for that,
Oh
sadly.
no, you know what? 30 was all I could do the last time I played, so I lied. You're right.
Um, but no, that's a nice update. Hopefully, I'll get to
Hmm.
that. But I mean, I won't be getting to it until 1.0 because I've decided I'm not playing any more of this game until 1.0. Not
Yeah,
because I'm
no,
not
that's
enjoying it, but because I'm enjoying it and I want to play it.
exactly.
But there's no more to play.
Exactly. And I don't want to burn myself out on it and then have the game come out and not want to play it.
Yeah. So, ranching is pretty much like Stardew, right? Like you have your animals, they go in specific buildings, you unlock them in the same way as you do in Stardew. You have to give them food and you don't have to pet them, but obviously their friendship
Hmm.
increases if you better if you do it. I will say I feel like friendship increases so slowly with the animals.
Well, so I was doing the hand feeding also.
Even doing the hand feeding, it still
Yeah,
feels
it
like
goes really slow.
I'm in year 2 and I have no animals at 2 hearts.
Oh, I have a bunch. I've been breeding animals. That's what I started
Uh,
doing.
does that make it go
Grub.
faster if you breed them? Do they start off higher?
No, but you can't breed them until they hit, I think, two
Oh,
hearts.
okay. I just feel like it's
So
so
I was
slow.
like, and like the deluxe stuff doesn't necessarily increase the friendship
Yeah,
anymore.
I feel like if I feel like with Stardew, if I do everything right, I can get them to max in a
Hmm.
year, max hearts in a year. Whereas I feel like in this, I'm not even at 2 hearts, and there's 10 hearts,
Do you
right?
have
Like it just feels
the
so
toys
slow.
outside?
I have now.
Because I definitely have a bunch of animals that are
Yeah.
higher
I
up.
mean, you are half a year later than me, so
Oh, yeah, yeah, but I have Baloney. My cow is at can I read? 7 hearts.
7 hearts. I must be doing something wrong.
I think you might be, because most of my creatures are at least 4 hearts. Because I've also been selling them as I breed them to make more room because I don't want to deal with more animals.
So, to be fair, most of mine are reasonably new. I when I got into all the money, I decided to like
Hmm.
buy a whole bunch of animals. So I have like, was that 16 animals now? Um,
Yeah,
but
but even my capybara was
only
pretty new, and that's at a 3 already, and they're both
yeah.
pregnant.
See, I have one at 3, and I have
Mm.
4 at 2, and they're all my first animals that I bought. So I don't know. I'll just need to maybe I'm not putting in the effort. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the hand feeding helps.
It does, and I don't do that every time because that's just so much effort.
See, I
Like
don't have as
this
big
is
of a
the
farm,
thing.
so I can put in the effort to the ranching.
Yeah, I want more automation in
That's the
there. You
compromise,
know.
though. Yeah, no,
Yeah, I
they both need an
know.
automation. They because like even just going in to milk everybody
Hmm.
and going
Although
in,
I do like that you don't actually have to milk them.
yes,
So you in Stardew you have to go around and individually milk them. You go into a barn and the milk's just lying on the floor, which
yeah,
feels a little bit unsanitary. But you know what? I think it's a good improvement in game fun,
self
shall we
milking
say?
cows.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you know what the main reason I do the hand feeding also is to get those little
Oh,
berries.
yeah, but I mean that mostly just gets you hats, doesn't it?
No, I got gold milk and gold butter and uh
But like getting, yeah, okay, you can get those, but like it's not, you don't get much of them, and it doesn't feel like the effort you put in is worth it for that.
yeah, I like the gamble of it. I think
When
that's
I
really
could be
what draws
doing
me.
anything else
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah. Look, I like a little gamble, okay? A little random generated content to give to me.
Fair. I like the selection of animals. I love they've got
Yes,
capybaras. That's a
yes.
good addition.
The colors
Yep, that's
from
the
the
other thing.
breeding are
Yeah.
incredible.
So is it? I've not done any breeding, but I presume how it works is so you've got I have three colors unlocked to buy,
Hmm.
and presumably the other ones unlock with breeding. Is that correct?
Yeah, so
But
like
then
right
once you've
now,
unlocked one, you can then buy more of it from the shop.
if I remember correctly, yes.
Cool. That makes sense because they've listed there
Yeah.
as there are
Yeah, yeah,
three
yeah.
there are three colors that are unlisted in for each of the animals.
And then the colors have like tiers. So it's like the ones that you can initially buy in the shop are tier one.
Yeah.
And then you start getting tier twos from breeding the tier ones, and you can breed the tier ones with the tier twos, and you can potentially
Okay.
get tier threes or more tier twos.
Maybe I'll get more into that when we get sprinklers. you know.
Yeah. I was mostly using this to fill my time while I was like getting, I think, to the last few levels of the mines.
Right. Okay.
But I will say the colors are really cute, and I really like all the different options. They had a lot of fun with that, which I think they kill Stardew in
Yeah. 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 I mean,
because
especially the brown cow looks like a Highland cow.
the
So
cows that so they crush Stardew in the colors. They crush Stardew in the looks of the animals. The animals are so cute. Stardew could never.
the
You got to get a mod to
so
get Stardew
I think
cute.
I think that the Stardew chickens are cute,
They are cute.
but the cows are not.
They are not, and the pigs are not.
The pigs are not, but are pigs meant to be cute?
They can be.
Also, I don't think this game has pigs.
No, I think they chose capybaras instead.
Which fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have my capybaras grown up yet. What did they give you?
Hair, I think.
I just love the idea of like your capybara is just wandering along molting and you're just gathering up the hair after it.
Yeah, I think they give you hair.
I love a good pile of hair. Who wants my capybara hair?
You make a carry capybara paintbrushes and sell them for insane amounts of money. I
Okay.
don't actually know. I don't remember. Mine are big enough though. Let me see. I definitely have
You
to have
just Google.
something. Yeah, that's probably better because I don't remember what boxes hold what right now.
It is hair.
Okay.
Stiff hairs dropped from the coat of a capybara used in a variety of crafting recipes.
Okay.
So there you go.
But yeah, no, I really like their animals. I think those little toys that they get for outside are so cute. And then I have like 1,000 screenshots of all my different animals playing together.
Yeah, I literally only bought the toys like spring because there was no point in buying them in winter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that winter was when I had the money, so I just bought them on the first day of spring, and I'm only on day two of spring year two.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense. But
again,
like little
something for
things.
1.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree. I think in general, it's an improvement on other farming games in
Hmm.
general, but it needs some automation. I want a thing to automatically dispense food because, yeah, sure, it might be better to do it manually, but I would like the option not to.
Oh, no,
Um,
absolutely. I agree because I have food in the chest. If I forget to go and refill it or
yep,
hand feed them, then what?
they
They
starve.
starve?
Exactly. Let's talk about fishing quickly because that shouldn't take too long. A pretty simple mini game. You
Hmm.
see shadows in the water. You you cast your rod in into the water, and an exclamation mark comes up, and you do it. I like how they show the fish shadows, and you have to like target the fish shadows. I think that's quite a cool
Yes. Yes.
addition. I think I would prefer that over a more complicated catching mini game.
Um, I thought it was a nice little simple fishing mini game. It wasn't anything crazy, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
I would prefer having to find the shadows and aim for them over
I
having a
see.
more
I see.
complicated mini game for catching them.
Yeah, I think it's a different I know this is kind of controversial, but I like Stardew fishing, so
I wouldn't say I like
but
it, but I wouldn't say I hate it.
I do like this mechanic too because I like hunting around for the fish.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah.
that's fun. And I think it reminds me of Animal Crossing in that
Yeah,
aspect.
especially with like the different shadow sizes and
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, if I'm
There's a huge
missing
one.
a certain type of fish, I know to go look for that size
Yeah,
fish.
exactly.
Um, and yeah, and then you get the big ones, and then you could go diving too, which is cool. And you can go swimming
Yeah.
in the water.
Yeah, so that means it's time to talk about this then. So yeah, you can swim in all the water basically,
Yeah,
that
which is cool because
exists.
you could just like go random places.
It's super cool. I will say one complaint I do have is so just I've talked about the Mistmare previously. This is a like a mythical horse that you get at some point, which by the way is so much better than just riding a normal horse because it
Oh, so
spawns
I
when you
didn't get
want
to
it.
try I guess we should have talked about that with the ranching, but I didn't get to try riding on the animals yet. But that sounds like such a nice.
So you're not riding on the animals, you're riding on the Mistmare, and you can make it look like your animals.
Oh,
So have you
okay.
had the Mistmare at all?
No, I
So
meant to play last week and I did not get a chance to.
that's fine. No, I think it existed in the 1.0. The so near the cave, there's a like a horse statue.
Hmm.
After the day that there's the earthquake, you go to the Mistmare statue, that horse statue, and you can once you've got to a certain level, you can unlock the Mistmare, which is a mythical horse that you press a button and it spawns with you on top of it. Um, and
No,
then you press
I
a button
don't think
again and
that
it spawns away.
was. I think that was part of the update because I talked to that statue a bunch of times.
I don't think so because I'm pretty sure I had it before I had the update. It's hard to know, but
It is. Maybe I just missed it. I thought I talked to all the statues. I mean, I definitely could have missed a statue, you know?
yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The
Yeah,
point
yeah,
is,
yeah.
it's a mythical horse. I like this over like the normal way of like you get a horse and then you ride it because you always have to know where the
Hmm.
horse is. Whereas this is just no, your horse just appears when you want it.
Yeah, also there's no, I guess that like I don't know if you do this, but I stupidly feel guilty
Mm,
if I
yeah,
like,
leave it somewhere.
leave
Yep,
my horse behind, even though
yep,
it's magically gonna
yep,
respawn
yep, for
back
sure.
at home.
But the reason I bring up the Mistmare is because the Mistmare can't go in water. And
Okay.
that is frustrating me a little bit because it's quicker to go through the water sometimes than go and find a bridge.
Yeah,
But it's quicker to be on the Mistmare. And so it's like, do you go on the Mistmare and go round the bridge, or do you come off the Mistmare, wade through the water, and then go back on the Mistmare?
I
You
see.
know,
Yeah, because
it
I've done
can
a lot of
it
jumping in the
can
water.
so it can yeah, the Mistmare can jump and it can jump over obstacles. I think it can jump over bigger obstacles than you can, and it can jump down the cliffs and everything. It just can't go through the water.
That's annoying.
Very
It's a
annoying.
horse. I mean, it's not a horse, but it's a mystical horse. Can it?
Exactly.
Horses
Exactly.
go in water all the time.
Just make it jump over the water if you don't want it to go in the water, right? Just make it
That
do
too.
jump over the water, right? It's a mythical horse. It can do what it wants.
That
Um,
too.
so yeah, but sorry, back to fishing, swimming. So you can swim in any water, and then there's like little spots that show as diving spots, and then you press on them and you get a thing, and it's like there's like clams and seaweed and stuff like that, which
Hmm.
is fun. But it also means that there's some areas that you can get to by swimming that you otherwise
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to get to. There's like an island you can get to that you have to
Yeah.
swim to.
I do wish also that you could like jump onto those cliffs that are like out in the water so you could like
Yeah,
fish from them. I think
I
that would be
agree.
cool.
The stones as well. I tried to jump
Yeah,
up onto the
me
stones to
too.
fish from there because there's like some points where you just can't get them because you can't get
They're
close
not
enough
close
to the fish
enough.
shadows.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, okay, am I supposed to be patient and hope that they eventually come closer to me? Because
Yeah,
sometimes they will, but like, what are the odds of that actually happening? I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
One complaint I have about fishing is that I get more annoyed with getting rubbish when you're fishing at a fish shadow because why does the
oh,
rubbish look like a
yes.
fish? I don't
Yes.
understand. However, thankfully, one of the upgrades for fishing is lowering the chance of getting
Yes.
rubbish, which is a good. I like that. It's a very and it does seem like a significant one. Like I hardly ever get rubbish now, which
It
is good.
does. It made a big difference, I think.
So it kind of like it was one of those things where I was like, right, this is something I'm going to complain about, and then later on I was like, not going to complain about it as much anymore. you know?
You know what? Actually, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. I think that made a big difference because I hate catching the garbage.
It's just so frustrating, so
Yeah.
anticlimactic.
And it's not even like Stardew where you like have the recycling bins things, the recycling machines, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you like actually get something out of your garbage, but like, no, I don't want to catch garbage. Just give me the fish.
All right, mining.
Mining.
So I guess the actual act of mining is pretty standard, right? You've got your
Yeah.
axe, it does some stuff. And the mines are a little bit similar and a little bit different. So they're similar in that, like, you've got levels and you go down you break rocks to find the ladder to go down, and then every 5 levels you've got the lift. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
standard stuff. And there's
You got like your
monsters
themed,
in, yeah,
yeah.
and there's monsters in there, and you have to attack them. Um, I will say I quite like the design of the monsters. They're quite fun. There's like different ones. Like um, there's like one that's designed like a miner's light, and it will electrocute you if you hit it at certain
Yes.
points. Like that's quite fun. Different ways of thinking about things. There's one that's like you if you hit it with your sword, it will only do one damage, but if you hit back the projectile that
Oh
it's
my
throwing at
God,
you, it will
yes.
do proper damage. Like that's really fun. Different ways of having to fight them is quite fun.
It is. I think it's a fun spin on like a very simple concept.
Hmm. And there's also
Because
like
like they
there's
didn't
different there's
overly complicate it, but they made it so that you have to like, learn how to handle each monster kind of
exactly,
differently.
and there's different. So like you can jump and ground pound, and
Mm-hmm.
that'll
Oh,
do
I
damage as
love
well, which
that.
is really, really nice addition, especially
And you got to
as,
do it for the mushrooms
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah, to flip them over and then attack them. But that is especially good because the one thing that's different about this mines compared to others is there are like caverns that you have to jump over in some
Mm-hmm.
on some of the levels, which means that if you see something across the cavern, if you didn't have the ground pound, you would jump over and have to immediately hit it, which is really hard. Whereas this way, you
Mm-hmm.
can jump over and ground pound and attack them as you get over, like immediately. It's this really, really fun addition there.
Yeah. No, I fully agree. And like you said, I think the monster designs are really cool. Like even the slimes,
Hmm.
they're like they have different characters, like
Yeah,
personalities.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's just like little things like that, which I think are very fun. And like it makes you employ a little more strategy than just like,
Hmm.
button mashing through the mines.
The other thing that's different about this mine is that when you get to, I think it's every 20 levels, you have a shrine that you need
Hmm.
to unlock to get to the next level, and that requires you giving 4 items that you can find on the previous 20 levels.
Yeah. I got so mad the first time because I had one of
Yeah.
the items and I gave it to the museum and then it took me
Yeah.
forever.
Some of them could be doing with upping their spawn rate a little bit. Um,
Yeah. I was like on pages like looking to see if I was doing something wrong.
yeah,
Like,
especially the insects. The insects I found
yes, that's
very
what it
hard to
was.
find.
One of them was an insect, I think, for one of the NPCs actually too.
Yeah,
Like I had one, gave it to
super.
the museum, and then
Oh
never
no.
saw the other one for ages again.
Super hard to find, but it's a fun concept. Certainly, I
Yeah.
enjoy that. It's like if you've been keeping everything, you will immediately have all the stuff. If you've not, you can. It gives you an opportunity to go back and complete things, like get more stuff, and
Hmm.
and and that's and it means that it's not just about brute forcing your way through. You actually have to kind of spend some time in the mines rather than just going as quick as you can down it. I think that's quite fun.
Yeah. Which like I love going in the mines normally. I
Agreed.
actually I
Me
have
too.
a complaint after this I will talk about.
Hmm.
Um, so like I have no problem going back. I think I just started getting frustrated when I had spent numerous days trying to find something and like having no luck whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they should up the spawn rate of the ones that you require, but
Mm-hmm.
other than
Because
that,
it's
it's
hard
it's
to
fine.
juggle it too. It's like, oh, if I did
Yeah,
this in spring, I don't have a lot of
the,
mining days in spring. Like
yeah,
that's
exactly, exactly. The other issue is the fish, because the spawn rate of fish full
mm,
stop is really low. So like especially in the first 20 levels, even finding a pond is hard. And then
mm-hmm.
once you've found a pond, there will be one fish in it, and it's probably not the fish you want, and then there probably won't spawn more fish.
Yep.
So you'll have to go to another level to find more fish.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So they need some balancing there, but the concept is fun. I think I think that's good.
Yeah. And I think the other thing with the fish too, just to go off of that, is like I wasn't always bringing my fishing rod into the mines just so I could have another empty space.
Yeah,
So like especially before I finished upgrading my bag space, it's like,
just another reason
well,
to have the tool bag instead of the.
yeah. Okay, so my one complaint with mining,
Go for it.
and I think this is just an overall game complaint, honestly,
Oh, intriguing.
is the management of time. I think these
Elaborate.
days, like the days feel shorter, or it feels like I have less time and I'm getting less things done than I would in Stardew, even though the game goes till 2 a.m.
Interesting. So
And I'm not the only one who thinks this. I've seen other people online complaining about this and asking the devs
yeah.
to like do something about it.
So it looks
So
like
it
this. It's
makes
only.
mining harder.
So it looks like it's only 2 minutes shorter than Stardew, but someone's pointing out the map is much bigger.
Because that's the issue is like the traveling, which I'm hoping the
Yeah.
mount and like, having an
It
animal to
does make
ride.
things. It does make things much faster. It definitely
But
does.
it's like also like God forbid I plan out a mining day, get everything done, get to the mines, and then realize I forgot something or I had something in my bag, like and I have to go back to the house. That's it. The day's over. I'm not mining that day anymore. Like that's
Yeah.
too much time wasted on other things.
Yeah.
So that
I
is
think it's
that
just
is
the
my
same.
biggest complaint.
I think it's just the same sort of thing we're saying for lots of things. Is it's fun, but there's a few balancing things they need to do,
Mm-hmm.
and we want more of it.
Yeah, and
Like I
like
want to go further down the mines, please.
yes, exactly. Like I don't want to be limited to oh, I'm barely making it through 5 levels of mines, replaying through the mines. You know what I mean? Like, and then racing
Yeah.
home. Like,
Yeah.
which, and also, like, this is a complaint that has not stopped me from putting 100 hours into the game. Or I don't think it's that much, but like,
Yes,
that's what Steam
yes.
says.
Just to make it clear, as we say lots of times on this podcast, we're complaining because we enjoy the game.
Yes.
We would not put the amount of time like when I don't enjoy a game, I make it very clear on the podcast
Yeah,
because I've
absolutely.
probably put in like there are some games I put in 5 hours, not because I don't put in the efforts. It's just so hard because
And
I'm
like, I've
just not
talked about
enjoying it.
games on here that like I
Yep.
did not enjoy. So I will definitely be vocal about that. But like, yeah, this is not a complaint that is ending the game for me. This is just, I'm hoping that an update will fix it.
Yeah. Which it probably will because there's a lot they're
It
planning
seems
on
like
doing
they're doing
anyway.
a lot. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So,
Like it came out in August, I think, and we've had one big update since then.
mhm.
So, hopefully there's lots more to come. The other mechanics thing to talk about is what I've described as crafting slash blacksmithing slash milling. So crafting is not done like Stardew. It's done at a crafting table,
Mhm.
but I guess it's very similar in the sort of way. What I find interesting is that it takes time to do stuff.
Yes.
So things will take 10 minutes or 30 minutes or of in-game time. And you don't have to wait for that time. It just like takes up that time. I think that's interesting.
Mhm.
I will say it's funny because you can decrease the amount of crafting time. So like you can start off by,
Yes.
decreasing it by 10 and then 20 minutes. I assume there's a 30-minute one as
Which
well.
is nice because yes, at a certain point you will get to the point where certain crafting, milling, blacksmithing doesn't
Mhm.
cost you anything.
So that's the fun thing. You can do like 50 of something and it takes zero time, which is very
Mhm.
funny. Um, I haven't noticed being able to decrease the time for the mill.
Maybe I'm like maybe I was just clumping that in.
I know you might, yeah, because I wrote it together, but I was wondering if have you seen one? Because I really want one because the mill is used for animal
Yeah,
feed,
the
but
mill
it's
pisses me
also
off.
it's also used for some reason mayonnaise, cheese, and butter. Why am
Yeah.
I using a windmill, to make mayonnaise and cheese and butter? I don't care. It doesn't matter. But I haven't found a way to
Um
decrease that time, and it takes 20 minutes to do a mayonnaise. I have
I
a lot
don't
of chickens.
let me go double check. Yeah, no, that one pisses me off because you really have to make a decision
Hmm.
on like, oh, I have enough spare time in this day to like do
Yeah,
one item.
I do like it compared to the like mayonnaise machines and stuff like that
Oh no, I
because
like those because they're passive and I can
no, so I
just
understand that they're passive, but I like not having the machines on my ground, like wasting space on my farm,
oh no, I like that
and
too.
and I don't like managing them, right? Like
Hmm.
I don't like going, oh, I'm gonna go put in 5 eggs and then come back later and put in another 5 eggs.
Hmm.
What I really like about the mill, and the only complaint I have is the time, because if you could decrease it by 20 minutes, then mayo and butter and cheese wouldn't take any time, and you could just go in there and
Yeah.
do 50 all at once, and that just is so much better.
Yeah, like I have 78 milks right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
takes so
it
long.
doesn't decrease that. Yeah, so it's like and like I don't want to spend more than an hour doing this in game time when like we just said there's kind of like an issue with the time balancing.
Yeah,
you called me out on the right thing. There is no milling update,
Okay.
unfortunately.
No, that's I wasn't calling. I was
No, no, no.
wanting to see it because if you found one, I want to know what it is.
No, I
Um,
yeah. That one truly makes me annoyed because I'm
and
like,
yeah,
you can't do the bird food, the ranch food fast either.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
Wild.
like I have 4 barns right now. Like, what do you mean I can do 6 of them?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
I have 16 cows. My word, I can't do 16 cheese every day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Um, the other thing is the blacksmithing, which is different from the crafting in so much as
Hmm.
so this is instead of like, the furnaces and stuff like that in Stardew. I quite like this as well. So there's two things you can do with this. One is obviously making like bars of copper and silver and stuff like that. And the other one
Hmm.
is upgrading your tools. You can upgrade your tools with this, or you can buy the upgraded tools.
Oh,
I
yes.
like that there's options there. Um, and I was initially confused because I thought blacksmithing cost you money to do because it shows a cost at the top right. But I realized later on that's just how much the item
Yes.
sell price for the item was, because I was looking at it going, it cost me 110 to make a copper bar, and then it cost me 480 to make a copper axe. So I'm doing
Yeah.
4 copper bars, cost me 440
The
pounds.
thousand
And then
dollars.
it's basically it was like it is 20 pounds cheaper to buy it than to make it. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But it turns out that was just the sell price, so that's fine. But I like that
Yeah.
you can do this. You can either do no cost, put in the work to upgrade your tools, or you can just pay to get a new tool. I like that. That's quite a fun way of doing it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I also did use the blacksmithing to make armor and then sell it
Yeah.
early on
Yeah.
in the game
Yeah,
when
that's
I just
also
had it
fun. Yeah.
for extra money. Like that was great.
And
Because it's
again,
also
I like
it's unlike milling, you can decrease the time for the
exactly.
bars and then you can
That's the
decrease the
thing.
other stuff.
And that's the thing. And this is why, I actually like this compared to the furnaces and stuff in Stardew, because I don't have to have like 10 furnaces littering the side of my
Yeah,
farm.
that's true.
And I can just go, although I would like so you can buy a craft. So by default, you have to go to the carpenters or into town to
Hmm.
use the crafting station, and you have to go to the blacksmiths to use the blacksmithing. You can buy a crafting station for your house. You cannot buy a blacksmithing
No.
system for your house, which I would really like to do. It's just a big hunk of metal.
Yeah. Like, am I not trusted? I don't understand. You trust me with the saws, but not the metal smithing stuff?
Yeah. I understand the milling, right? Because that's like a huge windmill, and
Yes,
it's not
yes.
that far to go to the windmill.
No.
But
I
the
will say I
blacksmith is
think
all
the
the top left of the town. He's so far away.
see, I don't think I minded that one as much because I think I was constantly going towards the museum or towards the
Yeah,
mines so
I don't,
often.
I don't go that direction. I go through the narrows. I find that
Mm.
faster. So I go out my farm to the north, and then I go left immediately and then north.
See, that's what I would do. And then on the way back, I would hit up the blacksmith and go
Oh
through town
yeah,
and
I
talk
don't
to
know.
everybody.
Oh, I'm not talking to people.
Oh, I mean, I talk to them real fast so that they don't think I'm some crazy person.
All right, let's talk about the characters then, shall we? We're not going to go through
Oh,
the individual Oh,
wait.
sorry. Did you have something else to say?
I was gonna say you should probably add to this list the kitchen, the cooking,
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there's the
because you
you can
can
buy a kitchen as well, and you can cook stuff.
buy.
It's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
exactly what you expect it to be.
Yes. However,
Oh
I
God.
got really annoyed because I unlocked some recipes and then I wasn't high enough level, but you can't get a higher level.
Oh yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
Why?
I,
Show
I
me.
I understand it for the crafting. I don't understand it
Yes.
for the cooking.
Yeah,
That's
I don't need to know that
weird.
recipe right now. Just save it for later.
Yeah, that's
Don't
very
tease
weird.
me with that. Like, that's mean. Anyway, okay, now we can go on to.
Right. We're not going to talk too much about the story and the characters, not least because we're over 2 hours into this podcast, but also because there's not really a story yet. And I think if we were going to talk about characters, we'd probably leave that till 1.0.
Mhm.
And it may even be its own episode if there's enough to talk about. But personally, I don't know how you feel, Kelly. I've not been particularly enthralled by the characters.
No, which is interesting because I feel like my introduction to this game was like you said, yours was that trailer that didn't match the graphics.
Hmm.
Mine was, I think somebody screenshotted it and was basically like, it's like Stardew, but the characters are hot.
Which I'm not sure. That premise implies that they aren't in Stardew. Like some of them are.
Yeah, it's just
Uh,
like in this one, it's like they're clearly,
you see cleavage. That's what they
yeah.
mean, right?
Like they're at the beach, in their bathing suits flexing their muscles. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
And I will say some of their outfits, especially Juniper's, are particularly interesting, shall we say?
Yes.
Uh, um, this is not your kids farming game.
No. And I will say
It's not like it's super
no.
inappropriate, but like
No. It's clearly
there's
more
some
adult.
thirst. There's some
Yeah,
thirst,
yeah,
shall we say?
exactly. And like I do think there's something about like the overall design of the characters is obviously more detailed and like kind of like a cuter art style than Stardew's, but like it's not like by much.
Yeah,
I think they just show more of the character.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like like it's like you get like a three-quarter portrait instead of like, a headshot for
Yeah, I think they're higher quality a little bit as well.
yes, yes.
The Stardew one are much more, they're still kind of pixelated, whereas they're high
Hmm.
quality ones for this, which, I guess it's easier to be attracted to something when there's more pixels in it. Is that fair to say?
I'm sure someone would argue against you online, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
But yeah,
I,
no, none of the characters are really catching my eye in like a personality way or like
yeah.
whatever.
I
I
think
talk to all of them.
some of them are definitely have they have glimmers of a
Hmm.
personality, right? Like the blacksmith guy, he doesn't like you, and
Yeah, he's
like
my favorite
I-
because he's mean.
and classic. All right, Haley.
No, I go for
And
Alex. Excuse
oh,
me.
okay, sorry. My bad. They're basically the same character, just
It's the
gender
same
swapped. Uh,
character.
um uh the and Juniper is like very much like kind of deliberately crazy sort of thing, and
Yes.
like
Yes.
that sort of stuff. So there's glimmers of interesting things there, but I don't feel like we've pulled them out yet, and I suspect that is still to come. I hope that's still to come.
Yeah, same. Because I feel like they have the potential.
For sure.
Like they definitely have it. They have like a ton of characters. They have some interesting stuff going on. Like, okay, potential spoiler. Like the little kid
But there are not
quests.
three of them. Oh, right.
No,
Sorry.
like
I
at the
interrupted you before
Friday.
you finished the sentence.
Yeah, I was thinking of the word. Like when you go to the tavern on Friday nights and you got to go talk to them,
Hmm.
and they're like, plotting their little schemy.
There's I think
It's cute.
there's hints of a good story and good characters
Hmm.
in there, but it's not ready yet.
Yeah, or like again, I think it's like the going to the tavern on like Friday nights is what really makes me believe that they have a better story lined up
Hmm.
or like more because when you talk to those characters on Friday nights, it's like you're getting a little glimpse into their world. Like they're
Yeah.
playing like D&D style games and like, going in to the details of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
They're like making fun of each other for like the foods that they like or like the way they handle things and it's like so clearly there's more outlined. It's just like are they going to flesh it out more?
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, based on that, we're probably not going to talk much more about that.
Yeah, that's all I got.
But hopefully there'll be more to talk about if we talk about it after 1.0. Um,
Hmm.
I feel like if they're good, we could have a whole episode just talking about the characters like we did for Stardew.
Hmm.
Um, but we'll have to see whether they get to that point or not.
Yes. Can I say one last thing? Actually,
No.
this is not a spoiler. I do think it's very interesting because I didn't notice this and maybe I missed it. But like obviously when you play Stardew, it's like, oh, Haley and Alex go together,
Hmm.
Sebastian and oh my God. Now all I keep thinking is Haley. I can't think of her name, the purple hair girl.
Yes,
Abigail.
Abigail. Yeah.
They go together. I haven't seen that dynamic in this game yet, which is kind of nice because I feel bad when I break up the couples.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting because I do feel like that is something that a lot of farming games do.
Probably because Stardew does it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's early access. I'm not going to complain too much about the
No, no, no,
story not
no.
being fully done, fleshed out. But yeah,
Definitely.
we'll see. It's interesting. I have one thing I would like to request of the developers, if they're listening. So Stardew has two ways to go. You can either go against the evil corporation, or you can go with the evil corporation. I would like the same here, but with the royalty, right? So it's a
Oh,
monarchy. I would like to take down the
it's
monarchy,
very
please.
Scottish of you.
I just want to be able to work against the monarchy. Is that so much to ask?
Is it very American of me to not even think about the concept of the royalty and just say, oh, okay, yeah, of course they're royal. Whatever.
There's people in charge, and I can't really affect it, and things happen. So I'm just gonna keep doing my rural family life.
Exactly.
I don't think you can get very far in relationships yet either. I think you can only get up to like four hearts, and you
Yeah,
can't
I think I only got like
marry or anything like that.
basic heart events so
Yeah.
far, like nothing crazy.
And I didn't even get that far. Just
I
because
was I was
I was
talking to people.
I was
However,
focus I
I
was
was talking to
focusing
the
on
people.
myself. I think it's important
Uh,
to make sure that you know who you are as a person before you try and inflict that on other people.
well, I just ran around like a little gremlin and yelled at people and then ran away and gave them things. And I
Yeah.
think that's how you should handle life.
Throwing gifts and shouting at people.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Um,
will say I do like it does do the thing where gifts make sense for people. Like
yes, yes.
I was like, oh, what should I give to Juniper? And then I realized, oh, I have this midnight flower from the caves. I bet she'll like this, and she did.
Hmm.
So it feels like it makes sense, and a lot of people enjoy that sort of thing of figuring out the gifts.
Yeah, because it's
So
like, oh, it's so easy just to go online and
yeah,
check the list, you know, but it's more fun to try to figure it out. Like,
well, it depends who you are, but yeah,
I do both. I do both
I
when I
like
don't want
that
to
it's.
miss a birthday or
Well,
something. You know what
that's
I
the
mean?
thing. I like when it makes sense and you can figure it out, but I also
Hmm.
quite often don't want to put in that effort, but I like that they do it.
Yes, I don't want to risk it, but also I like the challenge of it.
Yeah. I also like it. I like it when the thing that you like doing a lot gives you the thing that the person you want likes,
Yes.
like mining and juniper, for example.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, cool. So I guess quick conclusion for this, from my point of view, it is a pretty standard Stardew like with a bunch of nice additions. Oh, we didn't even talk about the magic. There's magic.
Oh, that's so funny.
You get mana, and
It's
there's a
not
few
even on your
spells.
list.
It's not. There's only a few spells just now. There's one that refills your stamina. There's one that I
But
can't
that
even
the
remember what the
refill
other one
your
are.
stamina, especially like earlier on in the game, is so nice.
Yeah. You get like a quarter of an orb every day of mana, and then
Hmm.
it takes like one orb to do one spell. And I think I'm at the point where I have three orbs, so you build it up quite nicely, and it becomes a really useful thing. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I have three
but
orbs, I think, too.
but it also feels like it's very much bare bones at this point because I only have three spells and only one of them I care about.
Yep. And even that one I kept forgetting about for a while. And then I was like, I would like get mad at myself because I would like, be in the mines.
Oh, see, I only do mines days now when I have two orbs of stamina, two orbs of mana. Sorry, so
Mm.
you can get three full staminas out of it.
No, I used to use it when I would go into the mines like very early on when I had like one orb.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it's just, again, you don't have to carry another food,
Food. Exactly, exactly. Sorry. So back to
So,
my conclusion.
yeah.
Uh, it is a pretty standard Stardew like with a few additional nice features, and it feels like they have an idea for what the story and the characters is going to be. Um, and I really hope that they flesh that out. And if they do, if the story and the characters is fleshed out, and if quality of life improvements continue, I feel like this could be a real contender for being a very good farming game.
I have high hopes for it. I really do. Because especially with this most recent update, I think they added a good amount of things.
Hmm.
So like I think from that trajectory, they seem to be on a good path. Um, and I enjoyed playing the game. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it has a lot of potential. So I want them to expand it out further and like flesh it out more and just, I like you said, I think it is a good contender for like its own little farming game kind of thing.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing where it goes. But yeah, I'm putting it down until I have more to play.
Same. That's why when you said like, "Oh, do you want to do this?" I was like, yeah, let's do it before I forget the game because I'm not playing it again."
Yeah. Well, it means I've done it for the year for the year as well, so I can talk about it in the end of year episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Kelly, for joining me. Where can people find you on the internet?
Thank you for having me. They can find me at Ralamu on Instagram, I guess. I don't really use it, but it exists there.
It exists. Uh, people can find me on the internet. I am at the Scottbot on most social media, primarily on mastodon.scot, but I'm on all the ones that you're thinking of. You can find the podcast on Tumblr at thspod. I also have accounts for that on the other social medias. I've just not set them up yet. So we'll see. Oh no, I posted to Blue Sky this week, I think. So maybe we'll get there eventually. But you can search for that and it will be there. It's the same handle everywhere, basically. You can send us feedback from our website, harvestseason.club, where you can also find links to everything to do with the podcast, including our Patreon, patreon.com/thspod, where you can get access to the Slack and chat to our fun community and also get bonus episodes of the podcast. I'm planning the next couple of I'm planning the rest of the year and we have some fun stuff coming up. So get in there for that.
And if you're Jack, please keep commenting on Spotify.
Yes, you can comment on Spotify and I might eventually read your comments if Spotify actually send me notifications about them. Otherwise, I'll forget about it exists again. I think that's everything. Thank you, Kelly, again for joining me.
Thank you again for having me again. I love coming on these. I think they're so much fun.
Good. I enjoy having you too. That's why you keep coming back. Thank you, listeners, for listening. And until next time, have a good harvest.
Bye.
The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
Oh my God, this is a total side note, and you could totally cut this out. But we have for Christmas decorations, we found a Christmas cow, and I don't know why they were selling like an outdoor light up Christmas cow.
Well, I mean, what's more Christmassy than a cow?
Right? I'll send you a picture afterwards. It's so cute. We were like, how do we not get this? Like, I don't understand it, but who cares?
Amazing. Yeah, I need to see a picture of that.
Yeah.
As a side note, just to tell you, you don't have to tell me that I'm allowed to cut something out of my own podcast. If I want to cut something out, I'll cut it out.
It's like, I didn't mean it like it's right. Obviously, you can cut out my whole section and talk to yourself. This is great after credits content, but it's the thing that like, do you ever get those things where it's like people posting on forums or like Facebook groups or stuff, and they're like, feel free to delete if it breaks the rules, and you're like, they would do that anyway. You don't need to give them permission to delete your post. That's not how this works. Just don't write. Like, it's so superfluous. Like, constantly, it's the same thing with like the description from Ratopia. People just say words, and it doesn't matter, and who cares? Blah. Sorry for sending you on a rant.
No, don't be. It's great. We needed something for the post credits, right?
Yeah. I don't know. How else am I supposed to say that in like a nice, polite way? That's not like.
Yeah, I know. I'm just,
I know.
I am just winding you up.
I know. It is funny though, because I get mad over the same thing. I'm like, just say it.
I mean, yeah, just say as a side. You can say as a side note. That's fine. It makes it clear. That's all. That tells me everything I need to know.